Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. Oh, Alyssa, you're the first one to have a golden jester hat. I am sorry that the background is white. I will fix that. Why that makes sense. I think you're one of the first ones to actually be a channel member. Fantastic. Okay. So, Meowzord, hello, Meowzord. Okay, let me see who's here. Let me see who's here. We already got a super chat. I believe it was Iceblade. Thank you very much, Iceblade, for that. Okay. I will read what you said here. Iceblade says, let's see here. Iceblade says, um, where did I see that? There it is. Iceblade, thank you for the super chat there, Iceblade. Missouri is getting the National Guard deployed to help ICE. Great, great, great. Love it. Love it. Okay, great, great. Love it. Okay. Well, that's fun. We will see. I will maybe chat about that a bit. Okay, let's see here. Who else we got here? We got Macy has an election going on, Senate seat in her district. Fantastic. Doug on the left. Hello, Doug on the left. Uh Doug on the left, you have a plumber for state office for me. Been literally texting him. Ooh, Doug, would you let us know? Is he a good candidate? Hello, Victoria, Toya. Hello, hello. You're not even baked yet, Doug. Really, you should get on that. Winterlinde, hello, Winterlinde. Okay. That's what I'm missing out when I'm late. If only I knew. What are you talking about, Winterlinde? I don't know what you mean. What are you missing out on? Did something happen? I don't know what you mean. Hello, SoCal. Hello, SoCal. Uh, Mr. Crispy Toast, thank you for subscribing joining, following me on Twitch. Thank you for that. Headbane, what do you mean? Headbane? What? Huh? I don't know what you mean. Jay Shadow, if that were a Pokemon, its name would be Drildo. I don't know what you mean there, Jay Shadow. What are you referring to? That is a funny name, though, I will say. Okay. All right. Alyssa, hello, Alyssa. London, hello, London. Okay. Robert is here. 8 Mansion. Hello, 8 Mansion. Okay. Uh, Robert, whenever I see your name, I know you don't mean it this way because it's 8 and then 8. I always get triggered because I always imagine 88, which is like what neo-Nazis use when they're trying to say Heil Hitler. Of course, you don't mean that at all because they're not even next to each other, but I was just thinking about that. Uh, right. Okay. We got people welcoming each other. Yeah, thank you, Winterlinda. Yes, folks, please hit the like button. Get more people in here. All right. Uh Hello, Meowzord. Okay. Thank you, Elia, for following on YouTube. Big oop for Missouri, that's for sure, Jay Shadow. But who's going in to help the National Guard, right, Meowzord? Uh that is true, Macy. That would help the ice. That would definitely help ice fixing the climate issues. Matt Saigai. Hello, Matt Saigai. Our resident scientist here. Great to see you, Matt Saigai. Hello, Lee Lane. Hello, Demosthenes. Um, uh, don't gaslight us. What do you mean, Macy? I'm not gaslighting you. I don't know what you're referring to. Okay. Um, okay, Alan's here. You ready to learn about Castro? Good, Alan. You're the one that inspired me to do this presentation. Uh, Ice Blade. Okay. Casual revolt. Does the furry count, or does the hand puppet count as furry fisting to start the stream? I don't know what you mean there, Ice Blade. I don't know. Okay. Chase Shadow also Google handheld concrete Jesus Christ. Uh okay. Uh don't worry, Robert. Yeah, don't change your name. I just suddenly something I thought about. Okay, guys. Okay, so we got some stuff to talk about. Let me change the goal here. Okay, I will change the goal to we'll do if we get two more super chats, Jester Caller, okay? And then if we get to 10 today, I will do another Q&A type thing. But for now, I will 3 hours. Uh, gesture caller. Okay, there we go. I'll start that goal. Oh, I need to fix this real fast here. Remove that goal. Remove goal. Da 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 da. Okay. Okay. So if we get two more gesture caller, if we get up to five, so if we get two more after that, makeup, and then if we get to 10, Q&A, like that very degenerate Q&A we had last time. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So, please like the stream, folks, if you haven't already. It'll help get more people in here. Uh, so, um, uh, yeah, for those who are coming in late and wondering what the hell everyone is talking about, if you need to, if you want to see it, uh, we have a friend here on the channel. Anyway, maybe we can name him and stuff. I actually think it's a they them. So okay. So there we go. We got a new super chat goal here. Uh okay. We were being good students and talking about we were talking being good students and discussing Arde Lang and Julian Jane. Oh, interesting, Meowzord. That's interesting. Thank you, Jonas. Thank you very much, Jonas. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, well, I could name it Fisty. That is right, SoCal. Okay, thank you, Jonas. Just to get it started, thank you. So, folks, one more, and I'll put on the gesture collar. Okay, actually like that. I like that, J Shadow. I think we should call it Drildo. I think that's a great name. Okay, Drildo. It's also a good non-binary name. All right. Okay, so guys, let us I wonder if the mic will pick up if he sits on the mic. Okay. So where the heck is the multi Oh, there it is. Okay. So, we got something to talk about. Now here's the thing. All right. I We're going to have a more, I guess you could say, I'm not trying to be like what is it called? What's the term? Hopium today, but we're going to talk about some positive things. But first, of course, I have a little presentation for you. I know, Meowsart. I know you meant the puppet. Okay, thank you. Hello, Dolly Boy. Okay, so we will talk about Drill Down J Shadow. Okay, we will talk about Fidel Castro and the Cuban Revolution. Now, when we'll talk about that. This is going to be a two-parter, just like the French Revolution was. So I'm just going to talk about Castro's rise to power, the Cuban Revolution, uh, and then we'll do a second one some other time about how the empire striking back, as in the United States. But for now, we're going to start with Fidel Castro. Okay. Um, oh my gosh, Luke. Luke says my university got a threat called in today, and they had to move my first class. I've been sick though, so I wasn't there. Oh, that kind of sucks, Luke. I wish you hadn't been sick, so you had a day off. I know, okay, that's terrible. I shouldn't say that because it was a threat. Yeah, those are they're common. I've been in schools that have gotten threats like that before too. Um, I hope everything is okay there, Luke. Okay. All right, guys. So, uh, oh my God, Macy, I'm all for that. We should do a Golden Girls watch party. The humor of the Golden Girls way ahead of its time. I'm not just saying that because I'm a gay man. I promise you, folks, Girls humor way ahead of its time. Also, a remarkably a feminist show for its time. I mean, it's not perfect, but okay. Yeah, you're right, London. There was a bit there, and I think it was 2022 or 2021 or something like that, where the entire nation got a bunch of calls like that. Okay, all right, there you go, SoCal cheesecake. All right, so let's get into the presentation here, um, and we will. So we're going to talk about Fidel Castro and the Cuban Revolution. Now, oh my God, Jay Shadow, has everyone here gotten bomb threats and shooting threats at their schools? Jesus Christ. I guess it is America. I don't know why I'm surprised. Um, okay. Jonas, good YouTube idea. All the times the U.S. actively infiltrated and foiled countries being towards common. Oh my God, you're right, Jonas. Jonas, I feel like I would be doing that series until the day I died, and then someone would have to resurrect me to make help me finish it. So, yeah, absolutely, Jonas. Okay. Uh, interesting, guys. Wow, gosh, Luke, I think they are evacuated. I think there have been an uptick against any universities that are progress. That makes sense, Luke. Okay. Yep. It'd be the never-ending series, Dolly Boy. Okay. Uh, Jesus Christ, J Chat. Okay. Jesus. Oh my God, you all have had these. I'm actually. Uh, I don't know why I'm surprised by that. I shouldn't be. But Jesus Christ. Okay. So let's get into this a bit, folks. So what if people heard about Fidel Castro? Just throw some things in chat. You don't have to, but if you're interested, obviously, of course, you can imagine the narrative here in the United States about Fidel Castro. Okay. Uh, so I'm curious what people have heard about him. Okay. If Winterlinde, was it ahead of its time, or are we going back in time beyond that? We are. We are. That is a fair point, Winterlinde. Yes, we are going back in time when it comes to rights for women and things like that. There you go, Meowsord. He likey ice cream. Okay. So, there you go. Thank you, Robert. Missile sites, right? The Cuban Missile Crisis. Hello, Mithril. He's dead. There you go, dog on the left. Okay. I know, right? Winterlinde, no wonder we're all on antidepressants over here. Um, Ice Blade, or else. I love it, Ice Blade. Okay. So, okay, there you go, Alan. I've heard he was a communist slash socialist revolutionary. Excellent, Alan. So, we have, especially in the United States, there's a lot of negative stuff out there about Fidel Castro. So today, I am not going to I'm not going to hide the bad stuff, obviously, but I'm also not going to demonize the guy. All right? You'll see what I mean. There is a lot of history books and stuff out there, and I mean like textbooks, government propaganda that bashes him, but it doesn't really tell the story. So I'm going to tell you a story from a different perspective here. I'm not going to leave out the stuff that could be viewed as negative, but just be aware of that. And try to think about why you think we have such a negative perspective on him. Okay. Yep, you're right, Jonas. Okay. Most of what I know is based on what occurred after Bay of Pigs with the Kennedys and the Cuban mafia. Yep, Jonas. Okay. That'll be in the second half. There you go, London. He's a damn commie. Okay. That'll be in the second half of our little series here on the Cuban Revolution and Fidel Castro. But okay, let's go on here. So I never asked all of you this. What the fuck is a revolution? Okay. What is a revolution? I actually, when I was in college, I got to take this class, one of my favorite professors of all time, and she named this class How to Stage a Revolution. And it was a comparative history class about different revolutions. And we talked a lot about this. What is a revolution? So, if you imagine, we talked about the French Revolution a bit. We've mentioned the Yep, you're right, Robert. A lot of attempts on Castro's life. So, if you imagine a revolution, it's also a word that can mean when something spins, right? Yeah, Macy, that is exactly what the name of the class was. I suspect that if that class were offered today, there might be some issues. Okay, right, Macy? Exactly, Mithril. I'm actually going to mention that. I know Alan here is in Florida. We have a few other folks in the community from Florida. There you go, Jay Shadow. Okay, 100% Ice Blade. You're all ahead of me. Okay, this is great. Oh, Jonas, thank you. Jonas has been converted to the bidet. I should say yes. I know, right? Jonas, the bidet is the best. Okay. Jonas, now a part of the Islamic sect of Bidayism. Okay. I'm just messing with you, Jonas. Okay. Okay. So, okay, that's a good guess there. That's a good guess there, London. There you go. You're right, Luke. Okay. So, a revolution, like like a spinning when something revolves. So, a revolution is where a society goes through a radical change. where it almost is like a complete realignment of the society, its economy, its government, okay? So it's just like when a society revolves, it like completely flips. Um, they can be violent, they can be nonviolent. That's what a revolution is, okay? So the Cuban Revolution, let's talk about that. Um, okay, so first, I'm going to give you a little back. Um, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on Cuba so that we understand what's happening. So let's start with that, okay? So first of all, I forgot to add this. Uh, turn around, right? Let me see. Okay, I forgot to add this. So Cuba is a beautiful country, okay? It's right off the southern coast of Florida, not that far away. Um, it's the largest island in the Caribbean. It has the second largest population of any island in the Caribbean. Okay, beautiful place, tropical. Okay, vibrant culture, great food, great music, great dancing. Okay, I always want to add some sort of humanizing things about the places we're talking about. Cuba, great place. Go visit it. It is open for tourism today. It is not a dangerous place to go and visit, despite what you may be told. It's actually, and for any LGBTQ folks out there, there is some great gay resorts there that are very inexpensive and very friendly. A great place to visit. Okay. Um, okay. So we're going to start with this. All right. So Cuba was owned by Spain as part of the Spanish colonial empire. That goes all the way back to Christopher Columbus. Okay. It was used as a giant sugar plantation, essentially, sugar and tobacco. There were enslaved people there that were used on these plantations. It's a classic Caribbean plantation island, producing crops that are important. It was a bit more diversified. Its economy was a bit more diversified than other Caribbean islands, so they did have some other industries that are apart from that. Okay, um, but that's what it was like up until the 19th century. Okay, uh, a very extreme wealth inequality. There was sort of an elite caste of Spanish uh, people that ruled the place, and a bunch of brown people at the bottom who were either slaves or mistreated, etc. Okay. All right. Okay. So there were several independence movements that were crushed by the Spanish in the 19th century in Spain. Okay. And these made the Spanish government um, the so Jonas, that's a good question. Um, I'm always curious about how and when Africans were introduced into countries like Cuba. So Jonas, and for everyone out there, at first the native peoples were used as enslaved labor. Okay, unfortunately, this is going to be dark for me to say, but when these Europeans started using native peoples as slave labor, they had an issue, and the issue was that the enslaved natives died very quickly because they were not resilient to European diseases, um, and they perished very quickly. So the first person in the New World who recommended the use of Black Africans was our good friend Christopher Columbus, who basically said, "Hey, we need better labor because the ones we have here die too quickly." I know I'm not trying to be dismissive about this. That is what he said. Okay. And that's when enslaved labor got introduced to in the 15th century got introduced, and the 16th century, I'm sorry, the 16th and 17th century got introduced to Cuba and elsewhere in the Caribbean, North America, and South America. Okay. Dalibor, we're going to briefly talk about Shay. Okay. All right. So several independence movements were crushed during the 19th century. That included an attempt by Black Cubans to form their own state on the island. Okay. And Spain started getting super paranoid because, uh, right, SoCal. Yeah, Christopher Columbus was an absolute, you all know this, monstrous human being. I would have beheaded him if I were around at the time, if I were the King of Spain. Alas, I was not. Okay. Um, okay, we're not Macy. Okay. So, all right. All right. Spain got paranoid. And let's see if anyone's heard of this before. So they started herding, literally taking uh, Spanish rural Cubans and throwing them into what they called reconcentrados, okay, which were concentration camps, literally concentration camps. And in those concentration camps, it's thought around 300,000 Cubans died. Some historians today would call these the first concentration camps in history. There is debate. There are debates about that. It, I would say they're definitely precursors to concentration camps. There were other ones that were more influential and influenced people like the Nazis than these ones, but these were concentration camps, undoubtedly. Okay, on the right here, I put up a picture of a bunch of impoverished rural Cubans in one of these camps. Like I said, about 300,000 Cubans died in these concentration camps, and the Spanish crown was extremely brutal. If you couldn't tell, okay. All right. So eventually, okay, eventually, uh, the Cuba did gain its independence. Um, okay. Meowzord, good question. Meowzord asks, what is the RE part of reconcentration? Because it is propaganda, Meowzord. The idea here is, oh, we're not concentrating people in these camps. We're just moving them from their villages into the camp. So we're reconcentrating them, right? We're not like starting a concentration camp. No, no, no. We're just moving them and reconcentrating them elsewhere. Kind of a weak form of propaganda there. Okay. So what ends up happening here, folks, is that there was eventually a successful Cuban independence movement. And in 1982, 1892, yeah, exactly, Malzord. In 1982, I'm sorry, 1892, which is pretty late, okay? That wasn't that that was, like, not terribly long ago, and historically, okay? Cuba gained its independence from Spain. It only reason I was able to do this is because the United States, began a war called the Spanish-American War, and they came in and helped Cuba with this. Now, don't think America was actually being helpful. You'll see what I mean here in a second. America decided, if anyone here has heard of the Spanish American War in their history classes, America essentially used the explosion of the USS Maine, which was in Havana Harbor, as an excuse to go to war with the Spanish Empire because they wanted their own imperial empire across the globe. And this gave them an excuse to go to war with Spain and take a bunch of their colonial possessions for America. Not an exaggeration. Okay. In this war, America gained control of the Philippines, Guam, Puerto Rico. They also gained control of Cuba. Yeah, right, Doug? Always very helpful, right, Doug? Okay. And they kind of were like, "Yay, we finally have our own European style colonial empire. Yay for us." Okay. And so initially Cuba was just made a protectorate of the United States. Basically, you don't actually have independence. They are just a vassal state of the United States. Um, but in 1902, the USA granted Cuba independence. But under Cuba's new constitution that the United States, was backing, uh, I mean, the United States helped write under the threat of bloodshed. Okay. Um, the USA, okay, now just imagine exactly, Luke, you're right. The same thing in the Philippines. Okay. The US retained the right to intervene in Cuban affairs and to supervise its finances and foreign relations. Now, I don't know about you. That doesn't really sound like independence, right? So the United States still had basically control over Cuba, even though it was nominally independent. Exactly, London, even though it was nominally independent. And part of that constitution also guaranteed that American business interests would be able to keep their holdings in Cuba. Okay. Okay. And by the way, One of the provisions of this treaty was that something called the Platt Amendment was that the U.S. was leased a naval base in a place called Guantanamo Bay. Marked it here on this map. You can see it. It's right down here in the southern part of Cuba, Guantanamo Bay, which has been owned by the United States as part of American territory, essentially, since this treaty. We all know what happens in what's happening in Guantanamo Bay now, and what happened during the War on Terror. Okay, this was where that base is in Guantanamo Bay. It was part of this agreement. All right. Okay. So let's go on here. So again, now Cuba has quote unquote independence. Many Cuban businesses were owned by Americans. If not the majority of them, many of them were. Okay, I could not find a percentage on this. I know that something like 70%, I'm not even joking, 70% of Cuban land was owned by Americans, but there were many Cuban businesses that were owned by Americans, especially hotels and other tourism industries. And Cuba became a very big destination for American tourists, European tourists, things like that. But the Cubans weren't profiting from that, okay, because they were owned by Americans, these businesses. Bacardi, right, guys? You're having a lot of great quotes here. Jonas, absolutely. Just like Haiti. Just like Haiti, okay? Uh okay. Yep. You okay, great. Okay, I'll stop looking at I'll keep looking at the chat, but you have such good comments here. Okay, so American companies and the government's intervention basically led to a very corrupt Cuban government. Yeah, absolutely, Alan. Okay. And the influx and a bunch of organized crime and tax havens got set up in Cuba because a lot of American organized crime and other organized crime groups could kind of hide out in Cuba without being directly under the control of the United States. This included the Italian mob. So a lot of organized criminal crime and stuff moved into Cuba and was able to use this corruption to their benefit. Um, on the right here, you see an image of a famous hotel in Cuba called the Capri Hotel, which is it's in a lot of movies and stuff. A lot of Americans would go there. It was owned by, I believe, the Italian mob. A lot of corruption and things like that. Oh, I know, Mithril. It's a lie, obviously. Mithril says we never had an empire. I've been told by quite a few Americans of all political stripes. Yeah, that is insane, Mithril. I think a lot of the Americans in here would agree with you on that. We definitely have an empire. We still do today. Okay, we definitely are an empire. Um, so, uh, okay, okay, so with all these things, um, there you go, Jonas. Okay, all these things together resulted in extreme poverty and wealth inequality in Cuba, especially for rural Cubans. Like, we're talking like desperate levels of poverty, constantly on the edge of famine. It wasn't even very good for urban Cubans. I mean, there were some who were extremely wealthy, but it wasn't good for Cubans. Obviously, they were paid very, very poor wages. Uh, living life basically on a hairstring all the time. Really horrific stuff. Okay. Let's see here. We got London World. Why did a coalition of nations not try to stop America's imperial ambitions? It's not like all these places were random small islands. A lot of them used to be owned by other European powers. There were plenty of times when abandoned nations could have ruled America. We weren't immediately the most powerful in the world. London, that's a good question. There's a lot of answers to that. One of them is the American Navy. Because these are a bunch of islands, if you're going to be aiding each other in these things, you're going to need a navy, and the United States Navy could just shut down any sort of cooperation there. There's lots of other reasons too. Lots of other reasons too. Yeah. Okay. So we're getting to this point. So you're getting the scene here. Cuba is not doing well. It doesn't really have independence from the United States. They don't own their own land. They don't own their own resources. Um, oh, absolutely, Luke. Yep. Okay. In 1952, this guy right here, Fulgencio Batista, uh, with the support of the United States, shocking, right? Shocking. launched a coup and installed himself as a dictator over the Cuban people. Okay. Uh, and we, okay. Why did we support this guy? Can you all guess? Do I even have to say it? You all know. Okay. The United States supported this because they were concerned about the growth of socialism and communism in Cuba, demands for reform. And they were scared that all the business interests, the American business interests in Cuba, would be taken away by communists or socialists. And this was during the Cold War. So there was the added fear of the Soviet Union. Exactly, London. Exactly. Okay. And you're right, Dolly Boy. A lot of these empires were on their last legs. Yeah, like a lot of the European empires that were in the Caribbean didn't really have the military capacity to resist the United States at that point. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into this. Yep. Alan, you are 100% correct. Alan says the same reason the Afghani soldiers were freedom fighters when they fought the Soviets, but terrorists when we fought them. Yep. Exactly. Okay. So we didn't want any communism. We wanted to maintain control of our businesses and things like that. All right. Batista, in an effort to crack down on the growing threat from the left and the perceived left, okay, he did a bunch of lovely things that might sound similar to us here in America today. He suspended civil liberties. No more civil liberties. Uh, no more civil liberties. He abolished the right to strike. All right, no more striking. No more labor power. And under his government, it got up to around 70%. 70% of all the farmland was owned by foreigners, especially Americans. Um, I don't know what else to say. That's very oppressive. Okay. And because of these low wages that people were paid, because of their lack of any ability to protect their own country, economy, and things like that, the economy stagnated and wealth inequality got worse and worse and worse. Okay. All right. There was also a massive, they had a really high infant mortality rate, so their children were dying. There wasn't access to health care. I mean, really horrific stuff. Okay. And look at that smug look on Fulgencio Batista's face. On a side note here, he actually started off by supporting the communists and then became a backstabbing traitor when he absolutely did, Dally Boy. That's a good point, Dally Boy. A lot of corruption here. He looted the country. A lot of his inner circle. It was basically a kleptocracy. They got really rich while everyone else got really poor with the help of the United States. Okay. Um, okay. So just to give you some more of the horrors of Batista here, this dictator who suspended civil liberties. Batista he established tighter censorship of the media, 100%. Luke Andrade, welcome to chat, by the way, Luke Andrade. Yep, Cuban Pinochet, 100%. Okay. He established censorship of the media. He also utilized the not very well named, I think, Bureau for the Repression of Communist Activities. I mean, that's not a very good propagandistic name there. Secret police, okay? Uh, and to carry out wide scale violence, torture, and public executions because he was having trouble controlling the island. Because, as you can guess, there were a lot of people who were very upset. It is very stupid, London. Like, it doesn't even hide what it's meant to be, right? Like the Bureau for the Repression of Communist Activities. It just says it in the name. Okay. These murders, executions, and tortures mounted in 1957 as socialist ideas started to become more and more influential. While the exact numbers are unclear, all right, I've done some research on this. The exact numbers are unclear about the number of people Batista killed. We're still not sure. But some historians, the low estimates say it was hundreds of people. Higher estimates say about 2,000 people. Castro later claimed it was around 20,000 people. We don't have evidence of that, but the sources we do have are very weak. It's very possible he killed a lot more than that, but they burned a lot of records and stuff. We don't know. And we also can't fully trust what Castro said because he sort of had a reason to inflate the number. It is possible that it was 20,000, but there's not a really good source on this. He killed a lot of people. He killed, I would guess thousands. Okay, yeah, right, SoCal. Okay, regardless. Uh, okay, all right. So you can see what the kind of shit that Cubans are having to deal with, and they're getting very upset. All right. This brings us to the next part, the Cuban Revolution. Okay. So we've talked about sort of what the state of Cuba is when the revolution starts. Now we're actually going to get into how this changed or what happened to make it change, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Okay. So Castro, we're going to start talking about Fidel Castro, who was an extremely attractive man when he was younger. I think we looked it up on one of the streams one time. Okay. Uh, he was started off as a young lawyer. All right. His father and his mother owned a large farm. And when he was younger, he would spend a lot of time talking to the workers on this farm and learning about all their struggles and stuff. And he felt a lot of empathy for them. It kind of really inspired him. It really radicalized him to hear the stories of struggling Cuban farmers. Okay. And he actually also tried to help the Dominican Republic throw off their colonial overlords. He actually traveled there armed to help with their revolutionary movement. He developed an ideology of anti imperialism, trying to throw off American and Western influence in Latin America and in the Caribbean, all over the place. He also went to Colombia. He went to lots of places, okay? And Okay, shut up, Jonas. How dare you? Okay. I mean, Jonas, maybe a little, maybe a little. Okay. Uh, all right. And so in 1953, he led an unsuccessful attack in Cuba, revolutionary attack armed on Moncada barracks, was captured and imprisoned. Okay. And he failed. So he attempted to attack these barracks and they failed. And he was imprisoned. Okay, he was imprisoned for this by Batista. Um, and one of the things that a lot of historians will say is that it was a big mistake on Batista's part to not execute him. Okay, I know that sounds dark, but Batista kind of made a mistake there. Probably should have executed him. He did not. Okay. And I mean, thank God he didn't, because otherwise the Cuban people wouldn't have been liberated from Batista. Regardless, okay. While he was in jail, and even previously, he started reading Marx, Lenin, Marty, and also read books by Freud, Kant, Shakespeare, Munter, Maugham, and Dostoevsky, and he analyzed them in a Marxist framework. He basically got really, really into a lot of Marxist and leftist thinking, okay, and he really liked it. He liked the ideas there. And when he was put on trial, okay, he gave a speech, a very famous speech. I posted it in the React part, resources channel on our Discord. By the way, folks, please join our Discord channel if you haven't already. I posted it. Um, uh, I posted it. I don't know, McCrispy Toast. Did I say it wrong, Mr. Crispy Toast? Welcome, by the way, McCrispy Toast, to Twitch over there. Okay, did I say it wrong? Okay, okay. So he delivered a speech, a very famous speech called "History Will Absolve Me." Okay, where he framed his struggle as one for the people. Okay. And it's a very good speech. Okay. I posted it in the research channel. You can see a young Castro here. Yeah. Oh, did you mention it? Weirdomorphous Blob? Yes. Okay. You see here Castro, very attractive man. Anyway, being led from his prison. Okay. Moving on. Now, this is a lot of text on this page, so I'm going to read it to you. This is part of the speech that Castro gave. Okay. Maybe I won't read the whole thing, but this isn't the whole thing. It was a 2-hour long speech. Okay. But let me read to you what he said while he was on the stand. In terms of struggle, when we talk about people, we're talking about the 600,000 Cubans without work who want to earn their daily bread honestly without having to emigrate from their homeland in search of a livelihood. The 500,000 farm laborers who live in miserable shacks who work 4 months of the year and starve the rest, sharing their misery with their children, who don't have an inch of land to till, and whose existence would move any heart not made of stone. The 400,000 industrial workers and laborers whose retirement funds have been embezzled, whose benefits are being taken away, whose homes are wretched quarters, whose salaries pass from the hands of the boss to those of the moneylender, whose future is a pay reduction and dismissal, whose life is endless work, and whose only rest is the tomb. The 100,000 small farmers who live and die working land that is not theirs, looking at it with the sadness of Moses gazing at the promised land, to die without ever owning it, who, like feudal serfs, have to pay for their use of their parcel of land by giving up a portion of its produce, who cannot love it, improve it, beautify, nor plant a cedar or an orange tree on it, because they never know when a sheriff um, will come with the rural guard to evict them from it. The 30,000 teachers and professors who are so devoted, dedicated, and so necessary to the better destiny of future generation and are who are so badly treated and paid. The 20,000 small businessmen weighed down by debts, ruined by the crisis, and harangued by the plague of grafting and venal officials. The 10,000 young professional people, doctors, engineers, lawyers, veterinarians, school teachers, dentists, pharmacists, newspapermen, painters, sculptors, etc., who finish school with their degrees, anxious to work and full of hope, only to find themselves at a dead end, all doors closed to them, and where no ears hear their clamor or supplication. These are the people, the ones who know misfortune and therefore are capable of fighting with limitless courage. To these people whose desperate roads through life have been paved with bricks of betrayal and false promises, we are not going to say, "We will give you," but rather, "Here it is. Fight for it with everything you have so that liberty and happiness may be yours." All right, folks. Who here resonates with that? Because I know I do. A lot of those things sound similar to some of the complaints we have here in the United States, does it not? Okay. And this speech got out and was very inspiring for many Cubans, and it massively increased his popularity. Okay, Castro's popularity. And it made it really hard for Batista to actually execute him because he was worried that there would be an even worse uh, revolt because of that. Okay. All right. Everyone's still there? We all good? Okay. Give me a second. I'm just going to drink some tea here. Okay. So this is what happens. He was released from prison. He actually got released early for good behavior. Okay. And but he was exiled to Mexico. Okay. And in Mexico, he regrouped with a bunch of other Latin American rebels, one especially that you all have probably heard of. Um, yep, you're right, Luke. Okay, Luke Andrade. Okay, um, and he met one in particular you probably all have heard of, named Alyssa. Hey, Alyssa, I didn't say it, you did. Okay, uh, okay, yes, Che Guevara. He met Che Guevara, who a lot of lefties like to sort of view as exactly Dolly Boy, who kind of view as a hero and stuff. He also did some things that were unpleasant. Regardless, he was a doctor from Argentina who really cared about working people. I'm not saying that he really did, and he helped. He used his medical services to help lots of people, and joined in with Castro, and they started formulating a plan to take back Cuba for the Cuban people. Okay. And while he was there, he also got in contact with the Soviet Union, who helped supply him and things like that for his revolutionary goals in Cuba. And in 1956, he returned to Cuba and launched a guerrilla movement. He went up into the mountains of Cuba and kind of went into hiding with this rebel group, and they were armed. And he slowly but surely built a base to support, would launch small little attacks here and there using guerrilla tactics. Um, and the Batista regime was really weak because they were very unpopular. He would attack like police stations and things like that and seize more weapons. And he was very, very popular amongst rural Cubans, understandably. right? You're totally right, Dally Boy. Che Guevara became communist after journeying around South America and being radicalized by the abuses he saw of the people there. Um, and he gained support from the peasants by promising them land reform and equality. Okay, pretty simple thing there to promise. And you'll see later, folks. Does he give them those things? Well, we'll find out, right? Okay. Here's an image of him on the right. Um, up in those mountains, the Sierra Madre Mountains, with his group. And yeah, he is. You're right, Toy Toy Toy. Che Guevara is from Argentina. Okay, and eventually he won. This you notice I'm not going into great detail here. You can imagine this was a protracted struggle, a guerrilla war struggle. Okay. He eventually defeated Batista. Batista's government was weakened by corruption and a loss of public trust in the regime. And the rebels slowly gained control of more territories. They started setting up parallel government structures. And in 1959, Batista fled Havana, which is the capital, and fled to the United States, by the way. Okay. And shortly thereafter, Cuba, uh, uh, Castro entered Havana and had won. Okay, I don't know how to say it. Had overthrown the Batista regime. At the same time, folks, we talked earlier about how there's a lot of Cubans living in Florida, especially around Miami. At this time, a lot of the wealthy Cubans who were afraid of Castro fled Cuba and fled to Florida, and they established a community there. And today, if you look at political maps, those Cubans that are in Florida are very right wing. They're extremely conservative, and they tend to vote Republican because these are people who lost their great wealth because of Fidel Castro, and they are right wingers who hate communists and socialists because of what happened. Um, oh, I know, right, Jonas? All the time. Like you always hear this. You always hear communists and stuff being demonized. I don't know, folks. I don't know, folks. If you know, like, I'm sorry, folks. Just obviously, from what you've heard so far, it doesn't sound too bad, right? I mean, let's be honest. This is not a narrative you hear, right? He's trying to save the people from their desperate poverty and stuff, okay? And he really was. I'm not making that up, okay? And here on the right, you see Fidel Castro entering Havana, okay? And yes, you're right, Weird Amorphous Blob. Shea wrote extensively on the strategy of the revolution and his experience of it. Yeah, and that book became very influential in helping other revolutionary movements, okay? So he entered here, okay? Now, um, I hope you all like that little meme I made there of Fidel Castro. Okay, Dark Fidel. He uh, um, he established a he. So okay, we're gonna get into some stuff here now. Again, I'm not gonna shy away from the bad stuff, but also don't close your ears after you hear about some of the bad stuff. Okay, because I'm gonna put it in context for you. Castro ruled directly after he took over the regime. Okay, he ruled directly or indirectly by decree, as in it was a dictatorship. He would basically rule by decree. He would issue a decree. Sometimes there'd be another president or prime minister in office, but they didn't have power. He was the one making the decisions. He would basically say what he wanted, and the government would do it. Okay. Um, and but folks, he used his power of decree to the first things he did. He implemented policies to cut corruption in the government and to fight illiteracy. Oh, what a terrible dictator. Oh my God. Okay. Now he did do it by decree. This was not done democratically. So um okay. But he did do that. He also immediately removed Batistamos, so people that were loyal to Batista, from positions of power. He also dismissed the Cuban Congress and barred all those barring all those elected in rigged elections. Okay, uh, so he banned a bunch of people from running for office that had been loyal to Batista, and he banned them from future office. Okay, um, in response to to popular uproar. So the people, okay, the people of Cuba, he was very popular. They loved what he was doing. Okay, so yeah, he ruled by decree, but what he did was also extremely popular. As a matter of fact, there was a massive public uproar demanding that that those that were responsible for the abuses of the Cuban people be brought to justice. So he and Che Guevara set up trials to put people on trial who were accused of crimes against the Cuban people. These were not fair trials. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not like these were, well, like there was good evidence presented and things like that. And a lot of folks were executed after being put on trial. Now then, uh, okay. What we are talking here, folks, are about that upper crust that were in control under Batista. Something else here, though. Okay, it is thought there are estimates around the time. Historians don't really know how many people were executed. It is thought that it was around 1 to 2,000 people. 1 to 2,000. Uh, I am not defending that. Obviously, that is a horrific crime to execute 1,000 to 2,000 people. But when we get in our heads here, we tend to get this idea of a monster who was executing vast numbers of people. Okay. Honestly, folks, that number is pretty low compared to pretty low compared to many other revolutions. Um, Absolutely mithril, many fewer than the Chilean junta. Okay. And if you believe some estimates, much lower than what Batista did. Again, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying in context, this was not that bad for for revolutionary violence. And as I said, the people of Cuba were demanding this. They had actually already started themselves doing some lynchings, okay, and things like that. And I'm not excusing it. You're right. It is Luke. I agree, Luke. Luke Andrete, you're right. I'm kind of doing whataboutism. I'm just trying to put this in context, okay? Because in America, a lot you will typically get a lot of that he was a brutal, horrible dictator. Um, and yeah, he was a dictator, and he executed a lot of innocent people. But comparatively to a lot of things, one not as bad. Like we talked about the French Revolution. I mean, tens of thousands of people died during the French Revolution. During the American Revolution, there were a lot of loyalists who were executed. Again, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just trying to put it in context for you, okay? I'm trying to dismantle that semi-talking point that is made by a lot of Americans, okay? All right. So what did he do then? All right. Again, this is all done under a dictatorship. I'm not lying about that, okay? Under his rule. Uh, okay. He started implementing some major reforms, okay? First thing he did, 1959. Um, okay. Um, yeah, that's fair, Trump failed. It is I am kind of doing a little bit of apologia here for Castro. I should not. Again, brutal what he did. Okay. People were done without killed without trial. There were also, by the way, some abuses going on in the prisons he set up. All right. I'm not defending this. Um, my point here, folks, is as a historian, in the grand scheme of Cuban history, remember how I talked about there were massive concentration camps that the Spanish had used. Batista had murdered tons of people. People were living in dire poverty. The violence of Castro in the context of Cuban history was rather minor. I know that I'm not okay. I'll shut up now. Okay. Uh, so in 1959, Castro signed into law the first agrarian reform. Okay, setting a cap for land holdings to 993 acres per owner and prohibiting foreigners from obtaining Cuban land ownership. So he reduced the size of land holdings that people could own, and he prohibited foreigners from obtaining land in Cuba. Okay, did I miss something here? No. Okay. Uh, as a result of this, he literally handed out a bunch of this land to around 200,000 peasants. Um, he gave 200,000 poor peasants title deeds to land, and um, these large land holdings were broken up and distributed among poor peasants. Um, uh, okay, and that's very good, I think. Okay. As a matter of fact, he even this upset a lot of the wealthy landowners, obviously, who lost lots of their land. It even upset his mother, who was a big landowner. He actually even took her land. He was not being nepotistic here. He was nepotistic in other ways, but not in this way. Um, but Luke Andrade, thank you for that. But please keep me honest, okay? I will take all the critiques you guys have. Okay. All right. His mother got mad at him because he even took her land and gave some of it to poor peasants. Okay. He was not picking and choosing who got land taken away. Okay. He within a year. Okay. This again within a year. He and his government had effectively redistributed 15% of all the nation's wealth to the poor, declaring that the revolution is the dictatorship of the exploited against the exploiters. I don't want to say it, folks, but that's kind of based in my opinion. Okay. He's just like, fuck it. We're going to give the land to the poor. We're going to redistribute a lot of it. We're not, he didn't, uh, overly persecute the landowning class. Okay. He did in some ways, yes, if they were loyal to Batista, but he just took some of their land if they had too much of it and distributed it. Okay. What else did he do with, and by the way, this is all by decree. In the summer of 1959, he began actually nationalizing, so taking control of plantation lands that were owned by American investors. He seized it and put it under the control of the Cuban people. He confiscated also property of other foreign owners of land in Cuba. Uh, and he confiscated and seized property of all the wealthy Cubans who had fled the country during the revolution. Um, he nationalized sugar production and oil refinement. So he put all of that under the control of the Cuban people and had them profit off of it collectively, as opposed to being owned by some private person. Exactly, Dolly Boy. These are actual pretty good policies. I am just throwing that out there, okay, Dolly Boy. Um, and he did it even though there was a ton of objections from foreign governments, obviously, including the United States. How dare you take our land and give it to your own people? Okay. So he did all this stuff. What else did he do? That's not all he did, folks. He placed major emphasis on education. And during the first 30 months of Castro's government, more classrooms were opened in Cuba than in the past 30 years. Not too bad. Okay. He also nationalized their healthcare system and expanded it uh, with rural health centers and clinics opening up across the island to offer free medical care. To this day, folks, to this day, Cuba has a fantastic healthcare system. They have some of the best doctors in the world, and those doctors go to other countries and help people there. They will export their doctors and send them to crisis areas and assist people. There are many stories of Americans actually taking boats to go to Cuba to get medical treatment there because it's very good health care and it's far less expensive than in the United States. I mean, I can't really say he's bad for that. Okay. Uh, and okay. Uh, he also implemented universal vaccination against childhood diseases, which we can't even seem to accomplish here in the United States, huh? And infant mortality rates, like the combination of these things reduced infant mortality rates in Cuba dramatically, dramatically. Okay. I mean, I, okay. You see what I'm saying? Dally boy, when Cuba has universal health care, okay, you're absolutely right, Luke Andrate. There are not enough medicines in Cuba because of the embargo. They would have that medicine if the United States had not been embargoing them. Okay. But as in a lot of these situations, and we're not going to get to it today, um, a lot of the struggles that Cuba had after the revolution were because of American embargoes on Cuba, because we were up in our fifis, we were mad because he took away the land of corporations and things like that, because we were afraid of communism and afraid of Soviet influence, and we made it harder for them to further develop their system. But despite the fact that they couldn't access all these good medications, they still had one of the best healthcare systems in North America, in the New World, and in the world. Especially when it comes to doctors. Okay. Um, all right. Not only that. Not only that. You're right, Doug. Okay. I know, Dally Boy. Okay. Going on here. With not only that, okay, I keep going, folks. Again, I'm trying to give you a different story here, other than what a lot of Americans know about him. Um, okay. He, this is within the first 6 months. Think about how fast he's doing all these things. Within the first 6 months of Castro's government, his government built 600 miles of roads across the island and spent $300 million on water and sanitation projects. He brought water and sanitation to rural Cuba where there had not been water and sanitation previously. Over 800 new houses were built every month. Every month. Okay. In the early years of the administration in an effort to cut homelessness. Okay. While nurseries and daycare centers were opened for children and other centers opened for the elderly and the disabled. Folks, like, I am driven crazy by our Congress. Especially obviously the Republicans. I barely even mention them because they're evil fascists. They're basically satanic. I'm especially frustrated though with the Democrats who constantly waffle. We couldn't get it done. We couldn't do it. We couldn't get you health care. We couldn't get you paid family leave. We couldn't get you. Okay. Uh, I mean, if they wanted to, they could do it, right? Look what the Cubans did. Uh, Now they did it obviously through government by decree. I am not suggesting we do it that way, but if our government really wanted to, they would do it. But unfortunately, our government is extremely corrupt by donors and things like that. Okay. Hello, pizza. Okay. All right. I mean, what a transformation, right? All right. So I'm going to stop this presentation here. The next time I talk about this, we're going to talk about The Empire Strikes Back, because America was not happy. Okay. Because obviously, folks, no one can have nice things, right? If you defy America. And you're going to see here, um, Luke Andrate, somewhat. Yes, somewhat. Not completely. It is not so, Luke Andrade, I don't know if you know, so I am a democratic socialist. They did not have the kind of socialism I would have preferred for Cuba, okay? Their workplaces were more democratic, but they were still kind of top down. They were not like run democratically, let's put it that way. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. So anyway, when is America happy, right, Mithril? No, enough time. Yeah, Alan, paid family leave, immigration reform, and universal child care were all cut from the Build Back Better bill under Biden because Josh Gottheimer led the charge on behalf of his donors. Yeah, and not only that, Alan, but the Democrats laid down like slugs and are like, "Oh, Josh Gottheimer, there's nothing we can do." There was stuff they could have done. Okay. Easy. Biden could have gotten in front of a microphone and been like, "Hey guys, hey Americans, so I'm trying to give you all this stuff, but Josh Gottheimer is corrupt. So please put pressure on him to change this." He could have used the bully pulpit, he didn't. He let it happen because a lot of those Democrats don't want those things because they're also bribed. Um, yeah, it is weird amorphous blob. You may actually know more about it than I do. That being said, folks, yeah, absolutely, Alan. Okay. So again, we will. This is going to be kind of a what is it? A cliffhanger? Is that the word here? Okay. I'm not. We'll get into what happens next in a different presentation. But just be aware. Okay. Yes. He did rule by decree. He was a dictator. Okay. He also killed a lot of innocent people. Um, and you're also going to see more of that later, using secret police and things like that to crack down on dissent. But at the same time, he's a very popular figure in Cuba. You can see why, right? And the reason the United States doesn't like him and doesn't like Cuba is not because of the authoritarian stuff. America loves authoritarians when it suits them. We hate authoritarians when it doesn't suit us. I mean, we hate authoritarians when it suits us. So there was a lot of emphasis on the bad stuff because it'd be hard to convince people to hate Cuba if we're like, well, they took away our corporations and they gave people back to their they gave, industry back to their people and things like that. Um, yeah, you're absolutely right, Dolly boy. We're not talking. You're right. He's not like a Stalin type character. Okay, like what he was brutal, but not like Stalin. Okay. All right, guys. So that'll be our presentation. We will do more on this another time. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to my face. Okay. So that's okay, Drusilla. Welcome, Drusilla. So, guys, we I have some other things I want to talk about here. First of all, folks, if we get two more super chats, I will put on the Jester collar. Thank you. Was it Jonas? Thank you for the first super chat we got there. Okay. We get two more, I'll put on the collar. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, for as little as 99 cents a month, you can become a member and get a cute little Jester hat next to your name. Alyssa, I think, has the first golden Jester hat, which I need to fix. But yeah. Uh, but because the background is messed up. But you get a gesture next to him, you get access to a bunch of cute little emojis for only 99 cents a month, folks. And if you become a member on my YouTube channel, I've created a members only playlist that has a recording of each of my lessons prior to now. Luke Andrade, you're welcome. And Luke Andrade, Slava Ukraini. Okay, Slava Ukraini. Putin is a monstrous bastard, and I would love nothing more to see him hanging from a tree, or face a firing squad. Got to be honest with you, Slava Ukraini. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry that was a bit violent of me, but compared to what he's doing to Ukraine, I feel like it's warranted. Okay. So all right. Um. Okay. So and thank you, Luke. Thank you, Luke, for the super chat. Okay. Uh Thank you very much, Doug. Sorry, Luke. Let's get the caller. Thank you, Doug. Luke. I keep saying Doug. I'm sorry. Um, Slava. Luke Andrade. Okay. Um, Luke Andrade. By the way, Luke. Maybe or Luke Andrade. I hope. Maybe you should join our Discord or something. I really want to visit Ukraine someday. I feel a weird sort of connection to the people of Ukraine. Maybe I don't know. Maybe sometime I'll come visit you there. Okay. uh, our heroes, folks. We all ought to respect our brave heroes in Ukraine who are fighting fascism, and trying to save their own country from a monster. Okay. Thank you, Dolly Boy. Um, I was a Fed post, but I doubt the government would care too much if I'm Fed posting about Putin, right? Okay. So all right. Um, okay. So also, if you're on watching me on Twitch right now, if you have Amazon Prime, it's near. If you can subscribe to my channel for free, okay. And uh, and you can send me some of Jeff Bezos's money. Um, and we thank you, Luke Andrade. So, folks, please join our Discord. It is linked at the top of the chat here on YouTube. We have a great growing community on there. Okay, all right, guys, let's move on. Now, folks, today we've had yesterday we kind of had a very dark stream. I don't know if you noticed. We had to watch Netanyahu and Trump do a insane press conference, or a sane, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it was a kind of a press conference, but they didn't take any questions about the genocide going on in Gaza. Speaking of that, I need to put on my uh, I need to put this on here. Um, okay. We and then we talked about the base, a far right group, on some other things. So I wanted to talk about uh, Alan. Yugoslavia is a very complex case. Yes and no. Uh, yes and no. Let's put it that way, Alan. About Yugoslavia, I am going to do a stream sometime, Alan, about the Bosnian genocide and such. Okay. But yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So I wanted to talk about a few positive things here. I'm not trying to be like hopium you guys, but there are a lot of things out there that I think should inspire people. By the way, folks, if we get 3 more super chats, I'll put on the makeup. And if we get 8 more super chats, I will do a Q&A. And the last time we did a Q&A, all these degenerates out here uh had some very interesting questions for me. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So Uh, let me pull up what I wanted to show you here. Is a few things. First of all, for those that are interested in resisting, okay, let me pull this up here. I think most of you are, right? There is on October 18th. Oop, why is my face? There it is. Okay. On October 18th, uh, all across the country, there are going to be massive protests. Okay. This is the No Kings protest. I have a shirt from them. Um, oh yes, Alan, I saw that. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. What BB said there. Uh, so all over the USA, on this is a map of all the planned protests going on October 18th. They're everywhere. I'm going to actually post this site here in chat. Okay. Here you go, guys. I'm going to post it here. If you want to go to the site, see if there is a protest going on near you. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of these protests going on October 18th. Um, uh, uh, that's fair, Alan. And so you can go here, look to see if you want to go join. I suspect there's going to be a lot of people coming out for this. Okay. I recommend everyone get involved and make yourself seen. Let's not engage in lefty infighting. And what I mean by that is there are many forms of resistance. We can do all of them at once. Okay. I know that the No Kings movement might not be left enough for some of us. I don't give a shit. Any display of resistance is worth my time. Same thing with looking at progressive candidates. Yeah, the electoral system is corrupt, failing, but we need to resist on multiple fronts. That includes even doing electoralism. We can do other things at the same time, okay? The reason I'm saying this is because I am now on like the Discord server for the US General Strike, okay? And I'm frustrated with some things, folks. I don't want to get into it, but there's some lefty infighting going on there in regards to refusing to cooperate with other organizations doing resistance because they're not viewed as radical enough. Regardless, we need multiple forms of resistance. Okay. Um, okay. Remember what I said. The Trump administration appears weak at this point. They're not fully able to do everything they want. They've had to roll back some things that they've done. Now's the time to show your resistance. Okay, I recommend if you can to go to one of these No Kings protests. Yeah, okay. All right. So you can go there if you want to see if there's one near you. Also on this site, if you're interested, I am not affiliated with these folks at all, but I do appreciate what they're doing. They also have a training seminar. They have like a training thing going on about what to do if you've never been to a protest. Um, down here, you can like protest safety, know your rights, de-escalation training, etc. Prep calls, safety and security training, messaging, media. So they have a bunch of things on here that can help if anyone wants to get more involved. Just something to think about. I wanted to put that on your radar. Um, I totally agree, Weird Amorphous Blob. And Weird Amorphous Blob, I know you've been involved in some lefty some lefty groups and stuff too. I have too, Weird Amorphous Blob, and I don't know what you think about it, Weird Amorphous Blob, but I get annoyed by some lefties who um don't engage in forms of resistance because of ideological disagreements. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Okay. Okay. So just something that you can go to. All right. Okay. So we cannot stop resisting, folks. As I always say, we cannot stop resisting. Me too, Alan. Okay. Me too. All right. So be aware of that. No Kings protest, October 18th. The other thing here too. Oh, Matt, thank you, Matt Saigai, for the super chat. Matt Saigai, I'm back. Did we already react to stuff? We have not yet, Matt Saigai. We have not yet. Thank you for that, Matt Saigai. If we get one, what is it? One more now? Wait. Yeah, one more, folks, and I will put on the jester makeup. I don't know why it only says 3. Okay. So I wanted to. We're not going to watch that. Sorry. We're not going to. We're not going to do that now. Okay. There are some things I wanted to show you. So this was sent to me, I believe, by Drewzilla. Okay, and Drewzilla, yeah, yeah, no, you're right. Weird Amorphous Blob. That is fair. Yeah, that is a good point. Weird Amorphous Blob. Yeah, that is true. Weird Amorphous Blob. Right. Okay. Uh, okay. So, Luco, that's cool. Okay, so this is. I wanted to show you all. I believe I've said this before on stream. Right. There are a lot of MAGA folks who are against corruption and who do really like someone like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, I think, to this day is the most popular politician in America. A lot of right-wingers or MAGA folks like him too. And what this is a video of, I think some of you have seen this, is Bernie Sanders traveling deep into Trump country and talking to people. Okay. And I just want you to see how it goes. Okay. You can anyway. So let's watch this together. I have not fully seen it. Okay, let's go.
Oh, that's my son. Hey, what's going on? They're having a
Right, Jay Shadow. Yeah, Jay Shadow. That's a great point. Real fast here, Jay Shadow. By the way, who's going to be running for office? Right, Jay Shadow. Right, Jay Shadow. Don't disappoint us, Jay Shadow. You run for office, okay? Says that my right-wing MAGA family and friends have said they disagree with Bernie, but they believe he is genuine, stupid but genuine. Yeah, I know. I've known MAGA people who are very who do think he's genuine, who think he's telling the truth and stuff. Okay, so let's watch this.
video shot here, and it's about Bernie Sanders coming to town, and they know that we're all Trump supporters.
What happens when you put Bernie Sanders in a room full of Trump voters?
I was shocked. I was like, oh.
Not as bad as they had told you, huh?
This is not how he's portrayed.
It's complicated.
Yeah, you're right, Doug.
But then again, so is West Virginia.
This is West.
Whenever I hear West Virginia, I just think of Joe Manchin and I start seething. Anyway.
By God, Virginia.
A state that voted blue for almost 80 years straight.
Oh, was that you, Matt Saigai? I think there were like 2 people who requested it. Matt Saigai. Yeah. This must have been you, Matt Saigai, who requested this one.
Until it flipped hard to become the second reddest state in the country.
This is a state
Luke Andrade, I couldn't phrase it better. Luke Andrade says Bernie Sanders is relatively popular among conservatives because he's a good populist. Exactly. A lot of this anger in America is a populist anger. And Bernie Sanders is a populist. So they align with a lot of the things he says. Now, not all of those things, but with the economic stuff, they really do largely agree. Okay. And you, Drizella. Okay. I guess several people did. Okay.
Where Donald Trump got 70%.
Really? It's easy to assume that West
You're
Virginia
right,
will
RPB.
be red forever. But I'm not so sure. I live here, and I talk to a lot of Trump voters about floods that leveled their homes, power bills that climb every year, and you'd be surprised how many of them sound like Bernie Sanders.
The billionaires, they don't need a tax break.
And guys, I can tell you, I have experienced that too in classrooms. Okay. I've had classrooms with a lot of, I guess, low income, working class white people and parents. And when you get around a lot of the propagandistic stuff that they believe in, that they've been brainwashed into believing, they sound very similar to lefties. I'm not trying to do like a TYT thing here. You see what I mean though, okay?
They're trying to give all the billionaires and rich people breaks. That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
So when I heard that Bernie was rolling through, I wanted to know, can a Democratic socialist from Vermont, who's not even running for president, connect in the heart of Trump country?
All right, where should I sit? I'm in the middle here.
And what would it mean for the rest of the country if he did?
You started with Trump, and then now you're a whole volunteer.
A whole volunteer for Bernie Sanders. He's just ultra liberal. He's a socialist.
I'm sorry to get everybody in trouble here.
And me? I got to drive him around in my truck
Doug.
and find out.
Senator, welcome back to West Virginia. I know it's not your first time here.
No, it is not. Been here several times, and I must tell you, I love
Weird
this
amorphous
state.
blob. You're quite an intellectual there, Weird Amorphous Blob. Weird Amorphous Blob says it's an organic class consciousness without translating into a wider understanding of political and economic systems. Yes, Weird Amorphous Blob, and I'm sure you would agree that they have sort of an organic class consciousness, and then scapegoats are used as the blame for the problems of that economic system. A lot of right-wing politicians will point the finger at trans people, immigrants, and things like that. Rather than and so a lot of these folks who believe these things, all they need to be convinced of is look up the wealthy are the ones oppressing you. It's not immigrants, it's not transgender people. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Oh, Mithril, absolutely, Mithril, I will. I thought, yeah, you recommended that yesterday. It's like born of the experiences of being alive. Yep, you're right, Weird Amorphous Blob. But then it's also misdirected by propaganda.
Actually, it's a beautiful state.
Thank you,
and I
Vitor.
very much enjoy the people, very down-to-earth, working-class people. You know, we campaigned here very vigorously.
Yeah.
In 2016.
Yes.
And we had to take on Hillary Clinton and Joe Manchin and the whole Democratic Party establishment. We went to places where politicians don't usually go, including McDowell County, down in the southern part of the state.
Yeah, can you imagine? I'm sorry, can you imagine Hillary Clinton going to McDowell County in West Virginia? You see what I mean? Like, anyway, like, okay, she wouldn't. I don't think she would dare. I don't think Biden would dare interact with the peasants, right? Anyway,
Points me now.
We are the only major country on
Mithril,
earth
I
that doesn't
agree.
guarantee
I'm hoping, Mithril, that this will be some positive stuff. Though we gave a bunch of positive stuff lined up.
health care to all people as a right. What do you think? Do you think we should join other countries and guarantee health care as a right of all?
Yeah, I think every American citizen should have health care.
We ended up winning West Virginia. We won every single county in the state.
In 2016,
and they have been
Bernie
left
didn't
behind
just
by the
win
Democratic
West
Party.
Virginia. He shocked everybody who thought they had this place figured out.
We've won a big victory in West Virginia.
But that
That's
was just
fair,
a
Doug, that's
Democratic
fair.
primary in 2016. The real question is, How does Bernie's message land with Trump voters in 2025?
All right, I'm going to ask you a question.
Thank you, Matt Sci Guy. Thank you.
Come back to me.
Okay,
Sound
time
good?
for the makeup.
All right, talk about health care here in Mingo County. What's
and don't
the
worry,
story?
Matt Sci Guy, we got
I
Joy
see a hand
coming,
right,
okay?
woman right here. Please stand up.
Hi, my name is Sheila Rose, and I ended up back in Mingo County where I grew up after a crime.
By the way, Mingo County was where the was where all those coal wars happened, including, if we remember from early when I started streaming, the Battle of Blair Mountain. Okay.
Chronic illness paralyzed me about 4 years ago. I've come a long way since then, but anytime I need to see a specialist, it's a 2-hour trip. Anytime I need a referral to a new specialist, it's a 6-month wait. There is no way to stay healthy in Mingo County.
Mingo County is in the southern coal fields of West Virginia. For generations, people here dug the coal that lit America's cities and kept the factories running. Now, the coal jobs are mostly gone. And what's left is poverty on a scale that rivals anywhere in the United States.
It's crying at the grocery store, choosing between paying a bill or having food in the cabinet or the refrigerator. It affects your health, and then you don't have health care. Child care is ridiculously expensive, so it's very stressful.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mingo County, like the rest of the state, went big for Donald Trump. So we followed up with some of his voters over biscuits and coffee to find out what that's all about.
I would have been nervous with a lot of different, celebrities or politicians, but you just seem so normal. You're like obviously just like a normal human.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for the damn breakfast here. I'm starving.
We already ate.
I would love to take an inventory of just personal politics in the last couple of years. Can we start off with that?
You're gonna start with me.
Yeah, we'll start with you. Yeah.
I am
Forgive
independent,
me, folks.
but
I can't really read right now
lean
'cause I don't have my
conservative.
glasses
Not as much anymore as I used to, but I did vote for Trump. But I did post on my Facebook page, instead of I voted, I put I vomited because I didn't want to, but I didn't.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I voted Republican. I agree with some things of Trump, but most I do not right now.
Right.
I do not. No.
And John, what's that like for you?
Well, this is my first time voting because I was just turned 18 right before I was able to vote. So I voted for Trump, but I'm primarily a Democrat.
Senator, who'd you vote for?
Right, Doug?
It wasn't Trump. Let me throw out a question.
Yeah.
You are living, shock of all shocks, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Do you feel that down here?
No. People are not surviving. We just had our food bank yesterday. We
Too bad
usually pack for
I think
80
he's too
people.
old now to run
We
for president,
served
but
102 yesterday. It is getting worse. Nobody's surviving right now.
My husband works at the hospital, and there are several ODs every single day.
Jesus Christ.
6,000.
Yeah, we're not a big town.
Several ODs every day?
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you this, and you may not know the answer, nobody does, because again, this is not just the West Virginia issue. We got it terrible in Vermont. So why are people doing drugs?
In my thing that I see, because I work a lot in addiction, is it's mental health issues.
It's what? Mental
health issues.
Lack of jobs.
Lack
Forgive
of
me,
jobs,
folks.
poverty, lack of support for our veterans,
You finding many veterans doing drugs?
Oh, yes.
and homeless.
And homeless.
And that irritates me. They stood up, they fought for our country, and we can't even afford to give them housing.
Okay.
I always wondered, how did so many drugs get into this state? Do we have thoughts about that? How did so many? Yeah.
The doctor's pushing it.
Talk about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother was an addict, and that's how she got addicted. Was she had a back injury? The doctor kept prescribing medicine. Eventually, that medicine didn't work, and she had to start doing the harder stuff. Sadly, she passed away from a drug overdose. So, I mean, I understand the addiction part of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to fight. And addiction just doesn't affect the person that's doing it. It affects the whole family, the whole area.
Grow up around this kind of poverty long enough, and you start to lose faith in the political system that allowed it to happen.
Yeah, shocking. I wonder why you
While
would,
Trump
right?
may put up huge numbers at the ballot box, nearly half of West Virginians don't even show up to vote at all. One of the highest non-voting rates in the country.
And I think the message is not complicated. People throughout the country, especially in rural areas, feel neglected. They are hurting financially. The Democratic Party, by and large, has kind of ignored those people, turned its back on them.
Not always, though, right?
Not always. Oh, no.
Especially here. I mean, it was 80 years of Democrats before it flipped.
You got it. This is one of the strongest Democratic states in the country. You're a strong union state, working class state. But I think what happened in West Virginia is a perfect example of the decline of the Democratic Party nationally.
To understand what happened to the Democratic Party in West Virginia, you need to understand the history of coal.
I'm a mine worker, generational mine worker. We built
All
these
right,
towns.
there we go, guys.
All of us.
There was a time when coal companies controlled almost everything, and speaking out against the boss could get you beaten, evicted, or worse. But in 1921, all of that boiled over at the Battle of Blair Mountain, the largest labor uprising in U.S.
Remember we talked about this when the coal miners went to war against the coal company, and the coal company literally hired private planes to drop bombs on the coal miners and such? It is so wild, Malzord. Okay, and there was machine guns and shit? Okay.
That's history.
Way back when, in the 1920s, it wasn't quite so civil. But we got to respect those people, our ancestors.
The mine wars, our own history here, is kept out of the textbooks, really.
Is that true?
It's not in the popular imagination.
Like, I know very few teachers that would teach about the Coal Wars.
I mean, that's been scrubbed because I think it's dangerous. You know, it's a threat. It's a threat to power.
Yeah.
Those early fights built the United Mine Workers of America and inspired a national labor movement that won the 8-hour day, paid vacations, and the weekend. And for decades, it was the Democratic Party who defended the unions. So working class West Virginians kept that fire going at the ballot box.
Rednecks,
But coal burns fast, and eventually the flame died out. Within a few decades.
Remember, folks, where the word redneck comes from? Those coal miners, when they were fighting the coal company, in order to help identify each other on the battlefield, they wore red handkerchiefs around their necks. Rednecks, okay?
We went from over 100,000 coal miners to around 10,000 today. And only a fraction of those still unionized. As the union shrank, so did the backbone of the Democratic Party. So the Democrats shifted their strategy.
Thank you,
They left
Jonas.
the coal
Thank
towns
you.
and the hollers to
Thank you. Thank you, Matt Saigai. Oh my God. Matt Saigai just sent out a whole bunch of memberships. Thank you, Matt Saigai. Gifted a bunch of memberships. Thank you, Jonas. Thank you, Jonas. So, Jonas, technically, I already have the collar on, but I will count that towards the next goal here. But thank you, Jonas. Okay, let me quickly. Let me. You know what? I'm gonna change this real fast. Thank you very much, Jonas, and Matt Saigai.
chase corporate money and suburban votes someplace else.
For every blue-collar Democrat we will lose in Western PA, we will pick up 2-3 moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philadelphia. And you can repeat that in Ohio and Illinois and Wisconsin.
The whole valley here was Democrat for years and years, and here the last 5 or 6 years, it has evolved into red.
West Virginia's turn from deep blue to solid red happened fast, all while hospitals struggled to stay open, classrooms emptied out, and opioids were pumped into these hills. Then came Trump, who promised to turn back the clock.
Coal is coming back. Clean coal is coming back.
Clean coal.
100%.
Donald Trump says he's going to bring back jobs to Appalachia, to the coal mining areas.
Yeah, they may do it.
You can see President Trump's bringing in all kind of industry. There's going to be jobs up the kazoo.
Look, why is Trump president? It's not complicated.
All right, sorry, folks. I was distracted during all that, putting on the makeup and doing the chat. So, folks, if we get 5 more super chats, actually 4 more, because Jonas sent us one. If we get 4 more, I'll do a personal Q&A, okay? Yeah, bring back debt bondage, right? So I know I haven't been talking much during this. I hope you all are getting something out of it. There are some folks in the country we could win back. I think we need a different approach to it, but we do. You can see here they do agree with a lot of the stuff Bernie's saying here, and the history there would support them coming back.
In my view.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party was about protecting the status quo and tinkering around the edges.
Yeah.
You know, we promise you we're not going to do anything bold. We're very bipartisan. We're going to work with the business community. We love billionaires. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? And Trump comes along and says the system is broken.
Alan says, wow, Schumer is so charismatic and smart. So thankful for his leadership. Okay, no, SoCal. Do you remember SoCal? Trump literally thought that clean coal meant that you take the coal and you clean it. I'm not even joking. Yeah. Matt, thank you, Matt Sai Guy. Oh my God, Matt Sai Guy. Thank you very much. Okay, we only need 3 more now. Yeah. You're totally right, SoCal. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Linde, he wouldn't be center-right. He'd be considered sort of a centrist in Europe, because he's. It's hard to describe Winter Linde. Maybe not though. Jay Shadow, which strike are you referring to? The Battle of Blair Mountain. You are generous, Matt Saga. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, absolutely. RBP. West Virginia has lost jobs. Okay.
Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why
okay, I'll find it.
I alone can fix it.
Yeah. And you know what?
Oh my God, fascist
He's
language.
Right. The system is broken. Now, his solutions only make it worse.
Trump.
Totally, Jonas. Your comments on healthcare, 100%. Give me a second here, folks. Oh, I could do that, Alan. I could do a late night stream goal. If we get, how about this, Alan? If we get 5 more, if we get 5 more, and then if we get 5 more after that, I'll do another late night stream. Okay. I'm sorry, Jay Shadow. I can't find your original thing here. I'm going to keep playing it.
For all his promises, has not brought the coal industry back. But with the big, beautiful bill, his signature piece of legislation,
Jonas. Thank you, Jonas,
he made his mark
chat
on West Virginia.
Okay, folks.
It's estimated that more than 50,000 West Virginians
Q&A.
will be cut from Medicaid. At least 7 hospitals in the state are at risk of shutting down, and as many as 84,000 people will lose access to food assistance because of this bill.
So in this bill, Trump's big, beautiful bill, why do you think they cut Medicaid? To save government money so that, what?
They can give tax to their donors.
Exactly. It's not only a $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%, it's a huge tax break to large corporations as well.
So why do they need to have a tax break?
All right.
I
you're
tax
asking
break.
me.
I mean,
I don't
I'm
know. Why
being
do
real.
they need a tax
I know.
break?
I pay like 26% taxes. Like, I could use that money.
Look, these people on top are not nice people. They want more and more. They don't have $1 million.
Jay Shadow.
That's
I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure.
chump change. Yeah. And we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in some case.
When you live here, it feels like a poor country.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I mean, when you say we're the wealthiest, like you said that several times yesterday, and I was like, is it true though? Because like,
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
In aggregate, that's what, look, if we're sitting here and I'm worth $1 billion and all of you are broke, you add it all together, you divide it, we're very wealthy, right? We're all worth $100 million. But I got $1 billion and you got nothing. That's America.
Oh
And
my
if I
God,
say
Bernie
that
Sanders.
I think the United States should do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to all people as a human right.
That's that guy.
Are you going to think I'm a communist and a terrible person?
I think if people listen, if you talk the way that you did, and you're so reasonable.
You see, yeah.
Like they've
Do you see
painted you in a bad.
Her face, like as a teacher, I can tell you, her face right here, she's having a light bulb moment. Like that look on her face of, Oh my God, I never thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way.
Light, and it actually makes me very angry because, you see things and you believe
Yeah,
it.
he is mithril.
I'll just be honest, I haven't really seen you talk before.
You're right,
I haven't
Jonas.
really I don't follow politics that much. And so the last couple days before this, I started watching some of your speeches and
Totally,
I started
Jonas.
watching your interviews, and I was shocked. I was like, oh,
Not as bad as they had told you, huh?
this is not how he's portrayed in the media, right?
We're told that the biggest
Matt
divide in
Saigai.
America is between
Matt Saigai, welcome, comrade. Matt Saigai says, I announced myself as a socialist within my friends group at uni today. Had some raised eyebrows. Oh, Matt Saigai, you're my hero.
left and right. But Bernie came here to flip that story on its head.
I think that whether you're in
right,
rural
Victoria.
West Virginia or in Burlington, Vermont, you got the same exact issues. And I think we don't let people divide us up. We got to come together to fight for all of us.
Over 100 years ago, they called us rednecks because striking workers from all different races wore red bandanas around
There
their
you go.
necks as they fought and died for respect and a living wage. That history was mostly erased from our textbooks, but it never went away.
Yep.
It's still here, scattered all across the state, if you know where to look.
My grandfather fought at Blair Mountain.
Your grandfather fought at Blair Mountain?
Yes.
What do you think this country at this moment needs to learn from your grandfather who fought at Blair Mountain?
Well, you just can't stand and let them step on you. You got to get up and fight.
So that is what our struggle is about, is to take on the greed of these people and say, you know what? You cannot and will not have it all.
Yep.
Bernie Sanders is 84 years old. He's not running for president. But maybe what he's after is way bigger than one election.
I'm sorry.
How do we get the...
I know I'm being quiet, folks, but I haven't seen the end of it. This is great. Oh, Jay Shadow, you're right. I forgot about the Flint sit-down strike.
Corporate wing of the Democratic Party who is just as guilty of taking money from billionaire causes to embrace a progressive working class agenda because it's about time.
What's your name?
Max.
You're going to lead it, Max. Look, this state was once one of the strongest Democratic states in the country. And I think people gave up on the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party gave up on them.
Me too, Jonas. I agree, Jonas.
So take it back. Don't ask, take it.
You have been to how many Bernie rallies now?
3.
And over what period of time did that take place?
2 days. The first night was just real eye-opening for me. It was a whole mind shift of my whole belief system of how we could come together as a people.
Yeah.
We all want
Yep,
our kids to
100%.
have a safe place to live. We all want our kids to have food. We all want our kids to have health care. There's no
100%.
difference. We all need to fight together.
She knows.
Because if we're fighting each other,
What was it that Jay Shadow said? Apes together strong. That should be your campaign slogan, Jay Shadow.
we're not going to ever get anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Did you expect to walk out of here with a shirt?
I did not expect to walk out of here with a shirt.
Aw. Okay, so there we go, folks. There is hope out there. There are a lot of folks, even on the right, that are like these ideas. Another thing I wanted to show you real fast for folks. I only have a few images up here, but there has been some great artwork coming out. Some of this stuff might be older, but we should also that there's a lot of resistance art out here. Okay, this is one I saw. This is, I think, from Trump's first term. But if you look here, you can see here that these images here I think are brilliant. This is a Latino woman, Muslim, Black woman. We the people defend dignity. We the people are greater than fear. We the people protect each other. I know these might be a bit older now, but there a lot of times when people are suffering in a society and not doing well, you will see a blossoming of art. Okay, as a way of expressing themselves, and a way of resisting. And what are you seeing here? Okay, there is even in this dark times, humanity finds a way. to express itself and resist. Okay. Okay. J Shadow. Okay. Let me uh okay, please, Winterlinde. Uh Here's another one. For those in the UK, I absolutely love Banksy. Banksy is a hero of mine. I'm gonna get more of Banksy's art on my walls. I already have one piece of art, like a not like a real piece of Banksy art, obviously, but he does this sort of street art. Um, oh, Owen Wilford. I love Owen Wilford poems, Jonas. I just love this one in particular, this little girl patting down a soldier. I don't, you all can interpret what that means in your own way, but again, the art of resistance. Uh, like, just don't forget the humanity around us, um, and things like that. Okay, human beings, like I said, even in the worst of circumstances, are creative and resist in very cool ways. I think that the next one is another Banksy. Yep, this is another Banksy that I love a lot. Um, okay. I used to have an image of this on my wall too. You have this man walking. Uh, I know, right? Weird amorphous blob. You have this CEO or like guy in a business suit trying to stop the color, and then you have this little girl out here taking in the color, eating it, and things like that. You can interpret that how you wish. Okay, a sort of form of resistance from Banksy. Um, okay. I know maybe not everyone can see their screens right now. Just know we're looking. I'm looking. I have a few pieces of really cool art here. Right, J Shadow. Indoctrination. Right. Here's another one. There's some really good. Me too, Jonas. I loved it. His profile Palestine action thing. Momo vibes, right? Okay. Here, there's also some really great political cartoons out there. Here you have an image. Um, Jay Shadow, I got that you're sarcastic. I love it. Here's an image. You have Trump here at the bottom. He kind of looks like a Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. And he says here at the bottom, Muslims knifed people 350,000 miles away. We are no longer safe from terror in America. And then if you look behind him, he is surrounded by Nazis and Ku Klux Klan members. Okay. Like that's a pretty good message. Okay. It's true. Uh okay. And by the way, folks, for those who recommend I watch that video of that one guy talking to racists in the UK, I'm gonna do a react with my dad on that. Okay. Probably tomorrow. So just to let you know that. That's hilarious, Mithril. About 10 years ago, Banksy did an installation artwork called Dismal Land, a very harsh satire on Disneyland. I love it. Okay. I think I have one more here. Here's another political cartoon kind of piece of art here of Trump as a giant octopus. Um, uh, I am the one. It's me. Like always, right, Matt Side Guy? Um, Jay, I actually, weirdly enough, Jay Shadow, I have not seen a clan rally. You'd think I would, given my research and stuff. Jay Shadow. Uh, Dubois, hello. Well, hey, Dubois, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Told my Trump supporting friend I'm a socialist, and he said anyone would be better than Tim Walz. This man hates Walz so much. That's hilarious, Dubois. And Dubois, we're looking to you to run for office too. Yeah, me too, Meowzord. Okay. I love the Turd Reich posters. Me too. Um, uh, Jay Shadow, I would like to hear about that at some point, literally. I'm interested in see what you saw. Okay, so you hear of Trump as a giant octopus. Dubois, yeah, I am putting pressure on you, Dubois. We all see you. The community is watching you. We're like Big Brother. We will make sure you run for office. Okay, all right. He's like an octopus. You see his arms are around the different branches of government. Okay, so there is a blossoming of art going on because of the suffering people are going through. Not that I'm pro the suffering. You also have individual
You can
people.
create your own website by saying, "This is what I want."
I
With
will say
Wix,
though,
you can.
it's kind of an insult to octopuses. Okay, what's the plural of that? Octopussies? I don't know. I'm sorry, not octopus. Octopi, my mistake. Okay, excellent, comrade. I'm glad to hear the Dubois. They octopi are very. Thank you. Octopi. I did not mean to say that. Octopi are very intelligent, so it's kind of an insult to octopi to call that to compare them to Trump. Okay. There are also individuals doing tremendous acts of resistance out there. Okay. And by the way, folks, if we get 2 more super chats, we just need 2 more. I will do a Q&A where you can ask me whatever you want. God help me. Octopuses. Thank you. Okay. I don't know why. Ignore that. Okay. My little misogynist moment there, I guess, by accident. Or maybe it was because of that. What was that? James Bond? Wasn't there like a character called that in James Bond? Anyway. Okay. So, Jesus Christ, Jay Shadow. Okay. All right. Matt Saiga, you're back over there on Twitch. Okay. So this is a woman here who used to be who used to deport people. She used to work to stop like drug cartels and things like that, and she would get people deported. And then she had a blossoming of humanity and is now fighting deportations. So even people like her can have a change, okay, and can see things differently. Yes, you are, Matt Saigai. You are. You are. I'm starting to see you even in my dreams, Matt Saigai. That sounds bad. You know what I mean, Matt Saigai. Okay. So let's. I just wanted you to. Well, maybe I don't really want to watch her right now, but here's another hero right here. This is also from Status Quo. She was a prosecutor. Oda Harity Narajo. Okay. So there are people like that. All right. This is very short. When Trump was saying he was going to send federal agents to Chicago, or he is now, I guess. Yeah, and this is what happened.
And first, I want to say to every single one of you, on behalf of our community, thank you for standing with us. We sense your love and we sense your care for people who might
That's
be
awesome,
your
Alan.
neighbors nearby or your
Oh, Alan, she's my queen too. Alan says, I flew under the radar, but my queen, Claudia Scheinbaum, just passed a bill essentially nationalizing water, making clean water a right, and to stop viewing it as a commodity. Oh my God, I love Claudia Scheinbaum, the president of Mexico. Look her up, folks, if you don't know who she is. Matt Saigai, the answer to that is 2. We just need 2 more. Oh my God, Jay Shadow, it's actually a sundown town? Shocking. I know they exist, but that's crazy. Mithril says, I read an article in 14 Times about an octopus who at night would open his tank, cross over a walkway in the aquarium, go into the other tank, catch and eat a crab, and then return to his tank. Yeah, they are super smart. They octopi are very intelligent. Octopuses are. Doug on the left. Yep, there are definitely still sundown towns. I've never been to one, but I know they exist. Okay. Okay.
neighbors far away from you. Every single immigrant is a human. Every single
Oh, thank you,
immigrant
Jonas. Thank you.
has every-
Folks, Jonas says, glad to see people protect one another. Right, Jonas? Me too. Folks, we only need 1 more. If we get 1 more, we'll do a Q&A, okay? And you can ask me whatever you want, and you can make it interesting if you'd like, okay?
single right to have their families stay together. Goodbye to
And guys, a lot of these folks protesting are white people who are not immigrants, but they're protesting to protect their fellow humans who are being deported and abused, okay? If that doesn't inspire you, right? I mean, not with all the bad news and stuff, it can be very, uh, it can be very hard to remember that there are still human beings out there that are empaths and do care about others, okay? And I know a lot of you are some of them, okay?
We're going to abolish ICE. In your neighborhoods.
Yep. Oh, I know, Toya. Yeah. Toya is correct. The U.S. was the only UN member to vote against making food a basic human right. I'll say that again. The USA was the only country, only UN member, to vote against making food a basic human right. Anyway.
Hey, Chicago, stand your ground. Hey, Chicago, stand your ground. They will never break us down.
They will never break us down. Okay. So again, there are people out there resisting. I know many of you are those people. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Jay Shadow. Maybe sometime I'll show you guys some Soviet propaganda. They did some cartoons that were really cool. That is so cool, Mithril. Mithril, have you seen that video of that English man going over to his Muslim neighbor's house and telling them that they have a safe place to go, that they can come to his house if they ever feel unsafe? Jonas has done it. Thank you, Jonas. We can do a Q&A, okay, folks? Very inspiring video there, right, Matt Sci Guy? Jonas, thank you very much for that, okay? Jonas, thank you for all your donations today, really. I just want to
and attorney.
We can do that Q&A here. I wanted to show you a couple more things. And then we will do that. I had some stuff on my mom Donnie. Okay, maybe we can watch it here in a bit. There's also a bunch of people protesting now in Portland against Trump going there. I don't need this crap. All right. Okay. Also, we got Kat here. Everyone remember Kat? Kat Abu Ghazala, who went to an ICE protest and got thrown on the ground by ICE, and she's very defiant about it, kind of in a badass way. So there are people out there willing to make sacrifices. Let's watch her real fast. Remember, she is a progressive candidate, a lefty. Well, I don't know if she's a lefty, but she is Meowsword purr for cat. Yeah. I mean, if I weren't gay, maybe I would too, but okay. She is a lefty. Thank you, Alan. I know she's like progressive and stuff. Okay, so she's a lefty. Okay, so let's see what she has to say.
This past Friday, I was assaulted by ICE alongside some other protesters. That day was probably the most harrowing day of protest I have ever attended in my life. Partly because anything we dealt with didn't hold a candle to what the people trapped inside that facility are enduring. My name is Kat Abu Ghazaleh. I'm running for Congress in the 9th District of Illinois, and I've been an outspoken opponent of the Broadview Detention Facility.
Didn't you tell me, Alan, did you tell me, isn't she like half Palestinian or something like that? Like her mother is Palestinian? I can't quite remember.
Headquarters its operations in the Chicago area. I have now been to this facility 3 times. Earlier this summer,
Alan.
I attended a vigil at the facility. The ICE agents barely came out, although they did call an Uber Eats driver to bring them dinner and then made the driver come inside because they were too scared of us. The Friday before last, I attended a morning protest at that facility. I stayed for several hours, and this past Friday, I attended another morning protest. I arrived at 5:30 in the morning. Some people had been there for hours already. We sat on public property, streets that belong to Broadview.
But I also just remind folks that if you're a woman and you go to one of these protests, right, I think that takes even extra bravery, right? Things that can happen to women, especially when police are involved. I'm just saying, like, the extra level of bravery it takes to do that. Just something to think about.
And waited for these ICE fans to load up people and deport them. They tried to intimidate us with vans through the gate, flashing headlights. And we watched through the mesh as people were marched into these vans. They were in the same clothes they were detained in, because that's part of the problem with Broadview. This is supposed to be a processing facility. People aren't supposed to be here for more than 12 hours at a time. But we've gotten reports for people being held for days or even weeks, including grandmothers and pregnant women. But because it's classified as a processing facility, these people aren't given beds.
I knew that. Oops.
They are not given hot meals. They are not given hygienic products. They are literally sleeping on the concrete. We yelled through the gate to let these detainees know that they were not alone. And as they were being deported, Broadview police stood by and watched as masked men came out of the gate and forcibly removed us. It took 2 men to lift me up, and then they threw me on the ground. My
Jesus
knees
Christ,
bled.
Matt
There was
Saigai.
no process, no identification, no accountability. I think if anyone did that to me
Yeah,
in
Jay
any
Shadow,
other
I
public
understand.
scenario, it would qualify as assault. But for some reason, this was the exception. The vans took off and more protesters joined us around 7 a.m. It was a peaceful protest. We sang songs, we said chants. I even started a craft circle on the pavement. Occasionally, ICE officers would come out of the garage or come out of the facility and people would yell at them. But there was no violence. It was just people trying to support our neighbors, to let them know that they are not alone. And then around 10 a.m.,
the humanity
the
here is
purge voice
amazing.
came on.
You are commanded to immediately disperse. If you do not do so, you may be arrested or are subject to other police action.
Somebody make a remix of this shit.
Other police action may include the use of chemical or less lethal munitions.
We saw shooters on the roof, and then about
Jesus, Jay
2
Shadow.
dozen men in full riot gear came out. They had every weapon you can imagine.
Jesus Christ,
Real
like-
guns, tear gas, pepper balls. They were all wearing gas masks. They made this show a couple of times. They would come out, try to scare us. Some people left, but more than I expected stayed. And then they would do a formation walking backwards into the building. None of the...
I'm sorry, that's almost comedically bad. Like the slow closing of the garage, or them trying to be all intimidating and stuff. Oh, look, we're so scary.
Protesters there, including myself, had weapons. We had cardboard signs, drums, and I guess I had knitting needles. But there was nothing to justify being in full riot
Jesus
gear.
Christ,
In
Matt
fact, I should
Saigai.
note that the windows here are boarded up.
I think I saw some of those videos, Matt Saigai.
They weren't boarded up the first time I went, but they were the second time. I guess people praying and singing songs is just so terrifying. This song and dance continued. They
So
came out, they went back in, they came out, they went back in. Not a single one of these officers had any identification on them. We found 2 badges the entire time, and they just had numbers, no names. They all wore masks. Most of them wore caps, and most of them wore sunglasses as well.
So
Later that
authoritarian.
morning, we had the highest time of escalation. The garage opened up, and a van was coming through the parking lot. This van was full of immigrants that had been detained, and it was truly one of the most harrowing things I have ever seen or heard in my life.
Jesus.
The police stood in front of the gate to protect this van as people were banging on the doors to get out.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I hadn't seen this.
The doors were
That's
literally
terrifying.
moving. You could see and hear it. And meanwhile, the Broadview police, which is not a huge police force, probably half of their officers were just at this protest, were standing around. We kept saying there's a crime going on behind you. But they stood there and they watched. And that's when ICE tried to start chaos. They came back out in their riot gear. They shoved us back. They felt like big, strong men. And they brought those people inside the facility. I myself was shoved back, as were some of my friends. I didn't get thrown to the ground this time, but one guy did cop a feel. Once again, no identification.
Oh my God.
No
See, this is what I
process,
mean.
No accountability.
And you know, she
around
must
noon,
have,
it seemed like there weren't going.
She knows the risk when she does this. She's making that sacrifice for the sake of showing up to these things. I mean, as in like, what an amazing person, right?
Going to be any more deportation actions that day, so I went home to catch up on sleep. Later on that day, a protester at this facility was shot with a pepper ball. And once again, no one at these protests were being violent. Since I posted the clip of ICE forcibly removing me from the pavement and throwing me back on the ground on Friday, I've seen some comments that seem to be genuinely in good faith, saying that, well, it's the law, and you're getting in the way of a federal operation. It is my First Amendment right to protest just as it is yours. And just because something is the law does not mean it's moral. We create
Correct.
and change laws every single day. In fact, I am running to be one of those people who can change the law. And throughout history, atrocities have been justified under the guise of legality. Laws are things we make. Morality and dignity are things we are born with. And the escalation I've seen just at this facility, from being at a vigil to being at a protest to being assaulted by ICE, is indicative of the times we are in. ICE is moving with impunity. They are being given billions of our tax dollars to commit crimes against humanity. And I do not believe that anyone is safe from Trump's secret police. This is what weak men do to feel strong. mean, look at these guys. Did they get a Call of Duty costume at Spirit Halloween? It's ridiculous. But even though they're ridiculous, they're being given essentially endless authority by this administration.
Yeah.
Which is why it's
Has anyone seen the South Park episode about ICE? It's really good. The most recent one.
more important than ever to stand up against ICE. If it's not for the dignity of your neighbor, do it because you will eventually be next. And if you're in the area, you can do something about it. This Friday,
All right.
7 a.m. and 7 p.m., you can come to the Broadview Processing Facility at 1930 Beach Street. Protest alongside us.
Okay. I'm going to pause it there, folks. The rest of it is kind of a shout out for a protest thing. So, so again, there are people out there fighting. Okay. Now, folks, this is what we're going to do. Okay. This is what we're going to do. I am going to quickly use the restroom. I'll be back, and then we'll do our question time. Okay. Right, Alan? Yeah, I saw it too, where what's her face goes to and talks to Netanyahu. Yeah. Okay. Oop, my face disappeared. Okay, so I'll be right back, folks. I just got to use the restroom, and then we'll come back. You can figure out what questions you want to ask. Now, don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Okay. Though you can go a little crazy. We went a little crazy last time, I think. Okay. So go ahead. You can put your questions in the chat, and then when I get back, I'll answer them, or you can wait till I get back and ask them then. But I just got to use the restroom. I'll be right back, folks. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys. All right. Oh, hat first, of course. All right, guys. So let's chat. Let's chat a bit. Let's see what we got here. For those who haven't done this before, this is your time to embarrass me or ask questions that I have to answer. Okay. Who was hit? Okay, that's a good. Oh, these are already good ones. Okay, let me go back here and see. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss anything. The sad truth is MAGA folks won't realize how insane what's happening is. You're right, Jonas. A lot of them will not. Okay. SoCal, this is a problem. The DOJ is now his personal law firm. The military is personal police and infirmary. Yeah. Congress is rubber stamp, and SCOTUS is lackeys. Yep, you're right. And yet, folks, Trump has a pretty low approval rating. The majority of Americans don't like it, but we don't live in a democracy, so I guess it doesn't matter, right? Alan here, Trump's comment on the opposition. I thought I would be met with the fury of the left, but they've sort of giving up. Yeah, which is why we need people to take more action. You're totally right there. I really thought that we were going to have a sort of fight it through. There's been no fight. Every progressive needs to run this clip in their campaign ads. I totally agree, Alan. Totally agree. Okay, Meowzord, who was history's biggest Karen? Oh my God, that's a good question. History's biggest Karen. Uh, uh, oh God, there's a lot of good options, unfortunately. I would say there was what was that lady's name? There was what's her face? Oh, Ava Braun, who was Hitler's wife, was a big ass Karen. Okay. That's for sure. I will also say, what is her name? Let me find it real fast. There was a woman in I think it was the 80s or was it the 90s, who basically led the charge against getting the Equal Rights Amendment passed in the U.S. The amendment that would guarantee women are treated equally to men, and the resistance to that was led by a conservative Christian woman who was offended that women might lose their domestic status. Um, what is her name? I'm having a mind blank here. Uh, crap. I gotta find it. Give me a second here. Oh, she's that's right, Phyllis Schlafly. I will put that name if you want to look her up. One of the biggest Karens in history. A bit an American-centric idea there, but with Phyllis Schlafly almost single-handedly prevented women from getting equal rights in this country, because she wanted to enforce her ideas. Uh, um, about how women should be treated. Okay, Mr. Crispy Toast. Did I wash my hands? I did, Mr. Crispy Toast. Well, let's put it this way: I used antiseptic hand stuff to make it quicker. Um, uh, okay, King, who was the worst dictator in history? I've heard Pol Pot was really brutal, and yeah, Pol Pot's up there. Pol Pot's definitely up there, King. If I don't go by numbers of people killed. Um, there are a few really bad ones. Charles Taylor, if you look up Charles Taylor from Liberia, he was pretty bad. He was very bad. Another one, well, yeah, Pol Pot is definitely up there too. Uh, there was another guy from Equatorial Guinea. His name escapes me. That was really bad. I did some crazy batshit crazy things. So there, I would look up Charles Taylor though. Okay. Um, Uh, that's a good one, Weird Amorphous Blob. Yes, Margaret Thatcher would be a good Karen too, okay? Um, uh, Kissinger. Oh, that's another good one, Jonas. Um, though technically, I guess Kissinger not a dictator, but a horrible war criminal who's currently burning in hell. Um, uh, Miss Yahoo was a cheerleader. That's true. Okay, Margaret Thatcher. Carrie Nation be considered a Karen? Uh, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm having a mind blank. Uh, Jay Shadow. Okay. No, she wouldn't be. I don't think so. Okay. Mithril. She got a cut. Yeah, she did. She got custard. She did. She got pied in the face by a gay activist live on TV. Phyllis Schlafly did. A glorious moment. And then she cried and prayed. She's like, with like the custard dripping off her face. And she's like, I gotta pray. Like hilarious. Okay. Opinions about the French. Good question, Mr. Crispy. Okay. Uh, so I mean, I gotta tell you, I've been to France. I love French food. There are a lot of very friendly French people. Obviously, I have no problem with French culture or anything like that. When I was there, I will say though, a lot of French folks are pretty on their high horses about their language and stuff. I kind of get it. I mean, a lot of Americans are the same way. Um, and of course, not a fan of the French Imperial Empire nor a lot of their actions in Africa, et cetera, and elsewhere in the world. So I guess I'm neutral on the French. They are human beings. I guess I like them in that way. I like a lot of the cultural things. Had to get used to all the touching and kissing that they do when they greet you. Um, Yeah, it's a mixed bag with the French. Let's put it that way. Okay. Uh, okay. Weird amorphous blob. Thatcher is what happens when a Karen becomes the manager. So true. So true. Oh, that's a good one. You're crying. Why are you crying, Matt Guy? Oh no. Okay. Benjamin Netanyahu. Oh, Meowsword. Yes, Madam New would be a Karen. I cannot stand Madam New. Good point there, Meowsword. Okay. Uh, a violent Karen. Thatcher is what happens when yeah. Okay. Benjamin Netanyahu's wife. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. I can't stand her. Can't stand her. Yeah, Jonas. Yeah, the French are pretty racist. Okay, gotta tell you. Yeah. Okay. A lot of them. Uh, okay. You're right. The French did help the U.S. win the Revolutionary War, which partially made them go bankrupt, which it partially caused their own revolution. I do like the French Revolution. Um. Okay. Meowsword? What's your biggest historical hot take or conspiracy that kind of makes sense to you? Ooh, how dare you, Meowsword, making me possibly spread misinformation as a teacher. So, ooh, I I am not fully convinced that JFK was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. There's a lot of weird stuff there in terms of documents and other things. I would never say that to any of my classes, of course. I would go with what the historical record said and what the majority of the evidence says. That being said, it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird. And there's not really enough evidence for me to be certain of that. Okay. But that would be one of them. Yeah, let's put it that way. Okay. Uh, that is true, Mithril. The French do know how to pronounce boy, which I can't do. Okay. The Germans, Winterlinde. I really like German folks. Um, I've only ever had one bad experience with a German person. If I'm just going off personal experience here, folks. Obviously, I don't have an issue with anyone of any human, like human, uh, anywhere. But I've only had one bad experience with the German. The times I've visited Germany, I've had a great time with the Germans there. Sometimes a very good time with the German men. And like, yeah, love Germans. I love German sense of humor, which is even though it's made fun of by a lot of folks. I think they're very funny. Okay. um and I did not say that last thing about the Germans, by the way. Okay. Also, I also really like German food, even though I know that a lot of people are don't like German food. I really like German food and German beer too. Okay. Drusilla, don't give me that look. Okay. Uh, let me see here. If I could change if I could change a single U.S. election result, which one would it be? Ooh, that's a good question, Jonas. I would probably stop Bush from being elected. I would definitely think I would stop Bush from being elected. Okay. The monster there. Um, I think, yeah, even if it was Gore that one, he wouldn't have been perfect, but I would have much preferred Gore to Bush, even though Gore did technically win. Yeah, thank you, Sir Bartholomew. You can blame Mouseword for that, as in like give Matt Mouser credit for the lovely Twitch banner we got going here. Okay. Um, that'd probably be the one I'd change. I would also agree. I wish Bernie would have won. Yeah, that's for sure. Okay. Uh, what else would I miss here? Okay, it's okay, AG. You're fine. We raised enough money, AG, that I'm doing like a Q&A. So ask whatever you want. Yes, Mr. Crispy Toast. I have been to Renaissance fairs. I love Renaissance fairs. There's one in Ohio I go to that's really good. I have before just dressed like a jester and harassed people dressed like royalty. I'm not that funny, folks. So I'm not the best jester, but I do love going to Renaissance fairs and role playing. I have a transgender friend, and I've said to this friend before that if I could transition, I would transition into a jester. Okay, I know. Hey, I know it's a bit okay, but yeah, I do like. Yeah, right, Robert K. Uh, all right. Sir Bartholomew. Oh my God, Sir Bartholomew. Thank you so much for that super chat. $70. Thank you, Sir Bartholomew. Um, Huzzah, right, Sir Bartholomew? Okay, thank you, Sir Bartholomew. You're gonna make me cry here, Sir Bartholomew. Okay, Matt Guy, I gotta tell you, for the English folks in chat here, I am not a big fan of English food. I do like fish and chips. There's also like I would say I'm a big fan of like the variety of food in London, but English food itself is not something I'm a big fan of. I'm sorry to say. Okay. I've always thought that German food was a bit better than English food. That's just my opinion, but Blob, back to France. Do you think Bonapartism is a useful yes, that is a very intellectual. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I skipped a question. Let me go back here. Alan. Uh, Alan asks, "Do you know of Asada Shakur and thoughts on her? She passed away. Yeah, she had fled to Cuba. She was a true revolutionary. Great history there. She's a hero of mine. Those are my thoughts on her, King or Alan. Yeah, very cool person. The weirdomorphous blob. Back to France. Yeah, so Bonapartism. Yes and no. Weirdomorphous blob. Yes, in that kind of like it's also phrased as Caesarianism. Yes and no. There are a lot of things that align there. And minus a lot of the chaos, I guess, that allowed for Bonapartism, kind of. Yes. I like generally yes, Blob. Yes. Okay. Uh okay, let me see here, folks. Uh okay. Uh Gore, yeah, good game. Yeah, yeah, okay, technically won, but still lost. Hell yeah. I remember one has been stolen. Yeah, yes, Matt Saiga, you're no longer number one. You're no longer number one. You know, Matt Saiga, you could send me like $100. I think that would overdo it. Just kidding. Okay. Uh, uh, okay, Alan, you win. Okay, folks. How about this? If I get one more super chat, it can just be $2. Yes, I'm kind of strangling you all for the money, but I'm trying to survive here. I will do a second stream tonight. Okay. How about that? How about that? All right. Uh okay. All right, Miss Crispy Toast, why this color of red for your mouth? I don't know, Mick Crispy Toast. It honestly, to be honest, Miss Crispy Toast, I used to use a different color for my mouth, but it stained my skin. So I'm using another color that doesn't stain my skin. I kind of randomly do it. Uh okay. So yeah. Uh yeah, okay, I agree with all this folks. Okay. Uh 700 different cheeses, amazing. Okay, Jonas, yeah, I know, Jonas. No offense, UK people, but not a big fan. Okay, of UK food. Like mushy peas. I'm not a big fan of mushy peas. I'm gonna tell you other things. I like the tea. I like the tea culture. That's about it. Okay. Oh, Meowzord, that is a great question. Oh, Meowzord. Okay. I love military history. Yes, I know I'm a lefty, but I do love military history. I think it's super interesting. Did I really? Did I get another super? Oh my God. Sir Bartholomew, you are my hero. Really. Thank you so much for that $28. Sir Bartholomew, I, I don't I'm lost for words here. I feel like I need to, I don't know, pay you back or something. Like, do I need to you may do a little dance for you? Like non-sexual, non-sexual. I'm just saying. Amazing. Thank you, Sir Bartholomew. Okay. Uh I guess that okay, so I'm doing another stream tonight, folks. I'll do another stream later, okay? Um, yes, I will do the other stream later. That's how I pay it back. And thank you, Jonas, for the other guys. Thank you so much, really. Um, I gotta tell you, I was getting a bit worried. I am making more this month than I was last month, but not by much. Anyway, the point is that this is raising my mood. Thank you very much, okay? Um, uh Winterlinde, oh, really? Next time you come visit, oh, I have Winterlinde. I've been to a medieval market on a castle. I've been to several castles in Germany. I've been like a lot of, you know this Winterlinde. A lot of, for people who don't know, German towns and cities have these markets that'll go into like their central plazas. I got a really good pretzel at one of those that had strawberries embedded in the pretzel with cream on it. Oh my God, amazing. Um, Okay, let me oh, sorry, I didn't fully answer, uh I didn't fully answer, the most okay, Meowser, what was the most 1,000 IQ military battle or maneuver in history? I can tell you off the top of my head, Meowser, that would be the Battle of Cannae between Hannibal and the Roman legions. I will talk about it on stream sometime. Hannibal was a military genius, and with a much smaller group of troops, he crushed a massive Roman legion. His troops got so tired of slaughtering like Roman legionaries that they had to help each other slaughter the rest of them by like raising up each other's arms and stuff to do the final blow. Brilliant strategy there. The Battle of Cannae, that done by Hannibal, would be probably my number one there. Napoleon had was pretty brilliant militarily also. But look up Battle of Cannae. Okay. And I will actually talk about it on stream sometime. Uh, That's like okay. Thank you, Alan. I get it. No, it's okay. And the foes, I get it. The economy is not great. I do. Okay. Thoughts on peanut butter, Mr. Crispy Toast? I like peanut butter. I like putting it. I put it on fruit a lot of the time. I'll like dip apples in peanut butter. I like peanut butter. I like peanut butter chocolate. Okay. Um. Uh. All right. You're right. Ingalls did like Matt Saigai. I am sorry, Matt Saigai. Yes, Matt Saigai. I would also give you a dance, Matt Saigai. How about that? Okay. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Extra crunchy. If my teeth weren't so bad, I would go for extra country all the time. You're totally right, Weird Amorphous Blob. Okay, about Ingalls, etc. Revenge taken. Okay, Matt Saigai. Oh, thank Matt Saigai. Thank you for all those super chats. I mean, not all those super chats, all those subscriptions, guys. You're being so nice. Thank you. I definitely will stream again later tonight, of course. Uh, okay. Any other questions here? Did I miss anything? Yes, Sir Bartholomew, you can gift memberships. All right. Okay. Did I miss anyone's questions here? I don't think I have Doug on the left. William Hannibal Thomas. We are about to get wicked. Oh my God, Sir Bartholomew. I'm kind of scared. I have not. Who is that? Doug on the left. I skipped yours, Toya Toya. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Toya 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 Toya. Where is Toya? Toya Toya Toya. Toya Toya Toya's question here. Toya Toya Toya. Where is this? Toya Toya Toya. While I'm looking for Toya Toya Toys here, the answer. Oh, that's a good one too, Robert. Subotai. Favorite brand of whipped cream? Miss Crispy Toast, probably Cool Whip. Toya Toya, I cannot find yours. Toya, do you mind? I'm sorry. Would you Would you mind reposting? I don't see it in any of the chats. I guess my chat here is racist against Brazilians, apparently. Yeah, I don't see it. My apologies. Okay. My apologies. Okay. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, that might be it. That might be why I didn't see it. Victoria may not have. Okay. Oh, really, Doug on the left? I haven't heard of that person. I need to look that person. Best double cross in history. Oh, for all the people in the UK and here, you have to look up the War of the Roses that occurred in England and Scotland and Wales. There were so many backstabs. As a matter of fact, a lot of Game of Thrones is based off the War of the Roses. Okay. So a lot of great backstabbing going on in the War of the Roses. You almost can't write a better story. Okay, that's okay, Alan. I apologize for this question, but if you had which prominent Republican would I go on a date with? Oh goodness. Prominent Republican would I go on a date with? Uh, Jesus, I just have all these horrible faces in my mind now. Okay, now obviously we are not talking about the character of these people. Okay. Who would I go on a date with of the Republicans? Uh, I am having a hell of a time thinking of any of them that are attractive. Uh, you know what? God, you're hilarious. Okay, I'm not gonna say Gorka. No, thank you. Uh, okay. Maybe okay, now I'm not like a daddy kind of guy. Okay, let me just say that first. Maybe what's his face? Rand Paul. Because he's a good looking guy. I'll say Rand Paul. Okay. uh all right. Best double cross. Well, God, these are good questions. Uh okay, that's fair, guys. Oh, coolest architectural feature in history. Ooh, Meowzord. Um hmm. The Great Wall of China was pretty impressive. I'm probably gonna stick with that. There's a lot of other really good ones. The Taj Mahal was a really good one, was a really cool architectural achievement. There's a lot of great architectural achievements in India, as well. Okay. Saber or rapier? I actually have a rapier, make Mr. McCrispy, so I'd probably go rapier. I do have a saber back here on the wall, but probably rapier. Um, okay. Oh no, you're right, Alyssa. I forgot about the eye patch guy. Yes, the war criminal. What was his name? The guy that has the eye patch and he has a beard. He's a Republican. Um, uh, oh, I forget his name, but yes. Okay. Did it work? Oh, thank you, Toya. Okay, I got you. Okay. Dan Crenshaw. Okay, Dan Crenshaw. I would go on a date with Dan Crenshaw. I mean, I'd probably have to arm myself to make sure I wasn't going to get killed, but great guy. I mean, not a bad looking guy. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, good lord. Okay. Let's see this. We got Massive, but with the debt counter just ticking, right? Oh, actually, Massive. Okay. Toya. Funk, marry, or unalive? Saddam Hussein, Trump, Nero. Well, I'm not going to tell you which one I'd unalive, but I will leave out someone, and then you can guess who it is. Okay. But to answer that, Toya, I would. Oh God, that's a hard one, Toya. I would say I would funk Nero because Nero was crazy. Okay, like he probably would be kind of fun in certain situations, if you know what I mean. So I'd probably funk Nero. I would marry Saddam just because I'm sure Saddam would keep me safe. I mean, maybe not from him, but I feel like he'd have some ownership issues that might keep me really safe. And I won't tell you the last one. Let's put it that way. Um, so okay. So okay. Why do leftists not take credit for the insane? Oh, I know. I know. Right, Alan, they don't take credit for the economic gains in China. That is classic. I'm sure you can guess, Alan, most situations like that, the left doesn't get credit because of all the propaganda out there. But definitely, China had insane economic growth. By the way, so did the Soviet Union. You know, I'm not a fan of those regimes. I'm just saying. Uh, yeah, but see, like, I don't know if I'd want to marry. I don't want to funk Saddam. Um, okay, yeah. All right. No, I can. I can say fuck. Yeah, Drizella. I was just playing along with the question. Yeah, okay. I also don't want to say on stream, oh yeah, I'd fuck Nero. Okay, I feel like that's gonna get clipped. Uh, okay. Um, yeah, there you go. Of course, to expose them afterwards. As I said, folks, I am not pro those people at all. But for the sake of the question, if I had to choose, okay, right, marry Nero. That's fair. We could marry Nero. That's fair. That is fair, King Alo, okay. Um, That's true, SoCal, okay. What famous painter or artist made the ugliest art? Oh, that's a good question, Meowsword. There are some, like, old painters that, like, just did portraiture that I find tremendously boring. So, any of those old masters, I find them so boring. Okay, I know their art's great and they're classic or whatever, I just think it's so goddamn boring. Like, I also think, like, David is boring, I just think it's super boring art. Sorry, sorry, it's super boring art, okay? Get some expressionism in there, get some, like, abstractness. That's my opinion. Okay. Uh, 'kay, yeah, if you had to choose one how dare you, Drizzle, okay? If you had to choose one Arab nationalist figure in history, who would you choose? Ooh, Weirdomorphous Blob in with the good questions here. Arab nationalist figure. Um, would it be bad to say Gaddafi? Uh, honestly, I'd have to think more about that. Uh, there are good ones. There are a lot of good ones. Maybe, I don't know. I probably wouldn't say Gaddafi. Uh, I'll say Gaddafi for now, even though I am also not a fan of him in a lot of ways. Because I'd have to think of exactly. I'd have to think of it more. Drusilla, I love Guernica. Guernica is one of my favorite pieces of art. Okay, um, love Guernica. I can save more, right? Okay. You guys are all degenerates. Okay, Matt Saigai, who are your favorite members in the community? Matt Saigai, don't you know I love all of you equally? I love all of you equally. Okay. Love you all equally. All right. Um, uh, okay. Yeah, Jonas, right. What can truly bring Africa to glory? Jonas, what can bring Africa to glory is if the Europeans and the Americans and the Chinese leave Africa the hell alone and let them develop. Uh, you know, and if I were to say one thing Africans could do, it would be to avoid their it would be to avoid a nationalist thinking and maybe work together to unite in like a pan-African sort of way, because the borders that were drawn there were largely made up by Europeans. So, you know, I'd say get the fuck out of Africa, the Europeans and Americans and the Chinese now, and Russia, and get out of there. Let Africa be Africa, let it develop, let it have tariffs if it needs to develop. Okay. Um, and also Catholic Church needs to get out of Africa. A lot of the religious groups need to get out of Africa. as well. It's wrong to be a degenerate. Now, no, Drizilla, I love all you degenerates out there, okay? I believe it, Matt. So I believe you're looking at me deeply. I'm scared, okay? King Alo, how do you fix a fascist society if you were heading down the same path as Israel? A large majority of Israelis don't view Palestinians as human beings. Yeah, so Alan, this is a very hard question to answer. Historically, fascist countries need to go through a tremendous amount of suffering, okay? It kind of knocks their population out of the fascist days that they're in. Um, uh, yeah. Another way to fix a fascist society is so that is a way to quickly fix it. If there's a massive collapse or a war or something that does tremendous suffering to the people in that country, it can kind of knock them out of the days. Another thing that can fix a fascist society is an authoritarian society that isn't fascist. I know that's also very dark. Um, so those are some historical things. I suspect there are other ways to do this too. Uh, Major reforms. I think major reforms can also fix a society because it might knock people out of their trance also. Have you looked at the Klan flyers? I have not yet, Doug, but I'm not surprised. A lot of the Klan rhetoric has gone mainstream. Meowzord, what's your favorite archaeological find? Ooh, Meowzord, you know the questions that go after my heart, Meowzord. Uh, so archaeological find. One of my favorite archaeological find was one of the oldest human burials we found. And this is kind of sad, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And in this grave of these early humans, I think it was found in the Middle East, this early human, we found a body, so a human. And next to that human was a dog, which is evidence that man's best friend goes back to the earliest time. And it's the earliest. Um, bye-bye, Robert. Okay. What that discovery, I just really like it because it shows that like humans and dogs are like really uh, connected historically throughout time. And this guy had his dog with him. Okay. I know that might seem kind of like emotional thing to say, but it's true. Okay. Yeah, Drusilla, I have. I've seen all the Israelis on vacation complaining people. Yeah, I have. It makes me laugh so hard, Drusilla. I shed so many tears for them. Oh, I'm so sorry that people don't like you. Like when you visit Italy and people are mad at you and things like that. I know they're such victims, aren't they, Drusilla? Okay. Um, bye-bye, Robert. Okay, guys. Boring was supposed to be personal questions. Hey, Matt's like, I'll take any questions, right? It's good. Yeah, you're right, Drusilla. The cats did choose us. Who's my favorite explorer, Jonas? There was a guy. He was Muslim. What is his name? Ib. Oh my God, I'm having a mind blank. He was an Islamic explorer. He he traveled all around the Islamic world. He went to Africa. He went to Europe. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember his name. During the Islamic Golden Age, and he was very open to other cultures and things like that. He wrote about all these other cultures he experienced. He's had this sense, all of us humans are basically the same everywhere. Um, and a lot of his work got translated into European languages and helped build the early social sciences. And he was an explorer. He went places that a lot of the people in the Islamic world had never been. What is his name? I can't believe I can't remember it. And he didn't oppress anyone. That's the other thing too. What is his name? Khaldun. That's it. Is Khaldun. Khaldun. Really cool guy. And one of the few explorers who didn't slaughter people and stuff. Okay. Um, the White Sands is very cool too, Meowzord. So, oh God, this is so good. Shackleton is good too. Doug on the left, have you used the Mormon resources to trace your lineage? From what I was able to verify was accurate, I learned about I have not, Doug. Maybe I will, though. I'll take a look at it. Weird Amorphous Blob. how do you take your coffee or caffeinated beverage of your choice? So, weird amorphous blob. I once dated a Brazilian, and this Brazilian introduced me to Brazilian coffee, and he would basically drink it black. And I really started liking coffee black, but I still add a little bit of milk and sugar, but not much. So that's I would say coffee is my favorite, but I also love tea, and I mainly drink tea now. So I can sleep at night. But I love coffee. Uh, okay. Sir Bartholomew, I'm high right now, so this does not make sense. But medieval peasants. So interestingly enough, Sir Bartholomew, medieval peasants. Listen, medieval peasants used to actually have more days off during the year than we do now. They didn't work as much as we do now. A lot of them were sort of okay with being peasants, but a lot were not because, taxation, famines, and things like that. So it depends on time and place there, Sir Bartholomew. But they had a lot of holidays. They had really kind of lax sexual standards too. Um, okay, so there's a lot of stuff like that. Medieval peasants are super interesting. And they were definitely scared of God, Sir Bartholomew. As a matter of fact, a lot of the saints that were invented in the Catholic Church were basically there to frighten peasants because the peasants believed that they were actual forces out in the world that would come hunt them down. Okay. Um, yeah, Drusilla. Okay. I will say though, Drusilla says, not surprising, slaughtering and colonization is very European. Yeah, Drusilla. I will say though, Drusilla, the early Islamic conquests were pretty violent. The conquest was colonization was pretty violent. I mean, but I'm not going after the Muslims here. Like every empire does these sort of things, but yes, European colonization was pretty vile. Okay, in a lot of ways. I love. Hey, Alyssa, love lavender mocha. Um, okay. Am I missing anything here? Okay. Which country slash countries would you never visit? Russia. There's one. Okay, I would never visit Russia. Their laws there against gay people are horrific. I have no desire to support Putin's regime there. Um, uh, it's not like I love Russians. I'm just saying I would not want to support that regime in any way, shape, or form. And I do not want to support a regime that is that horrific towards gay people, etc. Yeah, I would not go to Russia. And not to mention, they've been known to take journalists or visitors and imprison them and then negotiate the release with the United States. Okay. Um, Drusilla, yeah, I probably want to go to Saudi Arabia either, though admittedly, if I'm a man in Saudi Arabia, I suspect I would be okay as long as I don't go about talking about myself being gay. I would love to see Mecca someday. I feel like it'd be safer in Mecca because Mecca is kind of supposed to be open to the world. So I would love to see Mecca. But I think Russia, I'm just very upset with the Russian government. Just don't want to support that. I would even want to visit Iran. I know I pronounce it badly, but okay. What's the grossest or weirdest thing? Folks, I'm sorry, I might be missing some people's question. There's a lot here. What's the grossest or weirdest thing you've eaten? I have eaten. Winterlinde probably knows about this. Blutwurst, which is blood sausage. It's like a German sausage that's filled with coagulated blood. And I could not stand it. I'm sorry to say, I do not like blutwurst. Um, okay. Oh, did I say something wrong? It's not mocha, it's matcha. Oh, I'm sorry. Matcha. I love matcha, like the green tea powder. I know I can't read. I apologize there, okay? Um, do I have any interesting hobbies? Yeah, I like plants a lot. I have a lot of plants. I have like a little garden. I raise like tomatoes and things like that. Peppers. What else do I have out there now? I also have lemon balm. I can turn into like herbal tea and stuff. So I like plants. Um, I'm trying to grow a pumpkin and a watermelon also. So that's something I do like to do. I also used to like playing D&D. Met Brock. Yeah, Winterlinde. Okay. Oh no, Alyssa. Okay, so I do like plants and things like that. I also like sketching. I like sketching a lot. Reading, playing video games, stuff like that. You're right, Winterlinde. I agree. I think I would have liked the Blutwurst if I didn't know that it's blood sausage. That's true. And also, I've also had black pudding from the UK. Also not a fan. Probably because I knew what it was. Okay. Oh, that's amazing, Alan. Yeah, I wish I could grow papaya or bananas. Um, did I miss? I'm sorry, guys. There's so many messages. It's going so fast. I have to keep going back up. Uh, how dare you say I can't read? Okay, let me see what the messages are here. Um, yeah, it is kind of boring. What's the gross? Okay, lavender mocha. I love lavender mocha. I'm sorry, matcha. Excuse me. Um, I get it. I get it. Okay, I didn't. I guess I didn't miss any questions. You liars! How dare you? Okay. Oh, so I answered Matt Sai, guys. Okay. I saw one more question I missed. Oh, that's a good question. So, what would be my 10 commandments? You know what? Maybe, Jonas, I will do that some other time because that'll take some time. I would need to think about it. Definitely want to be the 10 commandments. Okay. I have a big issue with several of those. Um, okay. Yeah, you're right. I could do that, Doug, on the left. Uh, yeah, it is interesting. Weird amorphous blob. Yeah. Um, minced raw pig. Okay, guys. I think that's all the questions I've gotten. If I missed any, all right. And by the way, how dare you, Meowsword and Alyssa? Okay. Um, okay, guys. What time is the second stream? So what time would work for all of you? If would 8 p.m. Eastern time work? 8 p.m. Eastern time. How does that sound? Okay. 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'll come back on because of the generous donations. Guys, thank you so much for the donations, really. Uh thank you. That really improved my mood here. Especially Jonas, Matt Sai guy. There were others too, okay? And Sir Bartholomew, of course. Thank you guys so much for that. So how about this? I'll come back on at 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right. We'll do a second little stream here. And I get to use I understand, Drusilla. I'm sorry, Drusilla. I'll come back 8 p.m. Eastern time in 3 hours. Does that work for everyone? Anyone else? I know Drusilla might not be able to come. We're gonna end now, yes, because I've been going for almost 3 hours and I need to eat. But then I'll come back on at 8 p.m. I could also do like 7:30 p.m. if people prefer that. Um, oh, I'm sorry, Matt Side Guy. Okay, so 2 people won't be able to do it. Also, thank you, Mithra. Okay, so the other thing too is another thing I ate once that I did not like. If that's fair, okay, is bull testicles called Rocky Mountain oysters. Not a big fan. Okay, no problem, Vexed. Okay, bull testicles, Rocky Mountain oysters, really gross. The texture is horrifying. That's another thing I ate that I'm not a fan of. Okay, guys. I think I'm okay, guys. So, all right, guys. So, oh my God, Matt's that guy. All right, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go eat and stuff. I'll come back on between like 7:30 and 8. Okay, I get to use Meowzord's new waiting screen, Jester After Dark. And by the way, folks, please join our Discord if you haven't already. Okay, and I'll be back. let me do my little sign off here. I think you all know what's coming. Thank you, everyone. This was a great stream. Okay, I really liked it. Okay, everyone ready for this? First of all, free Palestine, free Palestine. Second, never stop resisting. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. That includes when you watch me. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I am a human being after all. See what other people are saying. Don't get stuck in an information silo. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. Thirdly, here, we're living in a fascist moment in this country, not only in this country, but around the world. Fascism thrives in an environment where people have lost faith in their democratic institutions because those institutions are no longer providing the things they need. We need major reforms in this country if we want to fight fascism. You cannot stand in the center. If you stand in the center, the fascists will walk all over you. Trust me, trust me, trust me. They'll walk all over you. You'll be like a slug on the ground to be trod over. Lastly, on the wall behind me is a sword. The name of that sword is Chainbreaker. It's been passed down in my family for generations. It is rumored to have been responsible for the death of 7 slave owners. Why do I have it back there? To remind everyone that our ancestors, not only here but around the world, have made tremendous sacrifices for some of the things that we have today. Okay, some of the rights we have, right? Right, Alan. Don't worry, Schumer's taking care of it, right? Okay, including some of the rights, women's rights, civil rights, economic rights. We cannot let their sacrifice go to waste, folks. Please don't let their sacrifice go to waste. Okay, and always fight for a better future. And on that note, folks, thank you. This was a great stream today. I will come back on between 7:30 and 8. Okay, we'll have another little. I know, right, Miss McCrispy? I just feel like if I had to use a sword, I would choose the rapier because it's quicker. I can slip it between the armor. But yes, I have a real Civil War sword back there, McCrispy Toast. Oh, by the way, I'm glad to have you here, McCrispy Toast, over there on Twitch. Okay, all right, folks. Bye bye. I will come back on later. See ya. Ciao. Auf Wiedersehen.